Oh, I brought the...
Now
Put this in your phones.
Actually live.
If you're going into work and it's storming like fuck, call that and see if GC stole it.
Give me that.
Got it.
I'm going to put this on the desk of the person.
No, that's mine. I need that. I told you to put it in your phones because it's the number that I have.
Why don't you put it in your phone?
Don't do that, Amy.
That was in my fucking sweaty pocket biking home.
Close to
Even more vigorous.
Very close to disaster there.
I don't mean to offend you, but what makes you think that that's my barrier?
No, I'm just saying, it's friend, we.
I say again, I don't mean to upset anyone, but if I had standards, like, I wouldn't have been willing to swallow the paper in the first place.
Understandable.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think a cat just shat.
You think a cat just... Hey, we found one of the missing clear D6s.
Yeah,
it was just by...
put that in.
Yeah, it was just by
I know
Amy's,
what cat
shit smells like.
Because I know one has
Yeah,
always
yeah,
been
no.
missing. One's been missing since I got here. But two were missing
Good,
recently.
he covers his poop.
Because he's a good boy.
Yeah, it seems about right.
Gizmo doesn't. Neither does
I
Gordon.
might make another just so the axe is
Interesting
bigger.
fact about JoJo. He will then into the box when
'Cause
Gizmo shits.
I
and
didn't
cover
realize
it
how small that
himself.
axe looks.
Aw, what a nice
It
boy.
looks small.
I think it's more of I can't deal with the smell.
It looks reasonable is what it is, but as
How
we
is
all
it
know,
that the
Drolish's
stupidest
axe
cat
isn't
you own is the
reasonable.
only one that covers shit?
I mean,
Every time she uses
It's-
it, it hurts her.
The thing,
hey, Bishop.
the
That's
reason
not
they,
practical.
Bishop is frightened.
the reason they don't cover
Yeah, I
cover
guess.
their poop is because they feel safe. That's
Bishop's
apparently a
frightened.
tracking thing.
Bishop's frightened again.
Like, it's a response to help keep. Like they only cover their poop in
Should figure out
areas
what
that
to
they
do.
feel unsafe because that's how predators
There
can
goes.
track them.
Well, isn't there also a thing where it has to do with their,
I have one
Feeling
more
like
thing
the
I gotta
alpha?
grab. You're in my way.
I don't know about
Alphas
that.
are a myth.
What?
The whole
Or like-
alpha male thing, that's a fucking myth.
or just like,
Not even wolves behave like that.
Yeah.
The irony is by believing in the false myth of the alpha-beta dichotomy, we have actually produced one, and it is equally as hostile and abusive as the one that was observed in the unscientific study where it gets its origins from.
Why does this roll better than my D4? Or D20, not D4. I
That
don't know
is-
what D4s are today on my mind.
Gee, I wonder why the D20
So-
rolls better than the D4.
Matt, get your balls up here. Kill the lights in the kitchen.
oh yeah, here we go.
Hey, I need you to. Can you get those curtains?
Oh, shit, I gotta drag my balls off.
virgins.
What's up? Well, I mean, we're fucking playing Dungeons and Dragons. That's about as
What's
turbo
up, pussy
virgin as it
farts?
gets.
What's up, pussy farts?
Here, I got it. Man. That's out of gas.
It almost has enough. Give me one. I bet I can light it.
The human centipede of song. Each song shits into the mouth of the next song, only for that song to then shit into the mouth of the following song.
I'm gonna shit.
I would have shit.
Doesn't have any butane.
Mutant.
Tyler, that makes me
My
That-
daddy
that
says
makes me
butane's a
actually
plastic
upset.
gas.
Like that.
It was something Centaura said about some shitty album that someone released.
All right,
All right,
everyone, go ahead.
I have
grab a
one
candle.
more.
He would
I have
say
one
that,
more
man.
radical notion for today.
One more wacky idea.
All of the radical notions transpired before the recording
Burn the
started.
churches.
But here's our new
Rape the churches,
radical.
burn the women.
Okay.
Oh?
What?
What?
Are you sure?
Because I want to sit down.
What the fuck did you just say, Siri?
That's interesting. This is going to be an interesting session.
It is. What?
What the fuck did you know what you said?
What did Siri say? Can you dump that and put ice
I
in
know
it?
what she said. I want her
lighting
to
candles
repeat it
now.
for the class.
Matt, bring me your
I
lantern,
said
please.
raping your churches and burning your women.
What?
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's what you said?
I mean,
And you don't see any problem with that at all.
strictly
That's
speaking,
not
the word
particularly.
rape in this context isn't incorrect,
Correct.
but it.
But you don't see any problem with the words that left your mouth. at
Not
all.
particularly, no.
Do you think Siri has any filter?
I
You-
fucking
Do you
hate
think
all
Siri
of you.
has a moral compass?
I fucking hate all of you.
Is this something?
She fucking agreed.
Is this something that's new? Because it's certainly not with any of us.
Ow.
I don't know what this is. I don't know what
This
this
is a
is,
striking
Chief.
amount of light, and I love it.
Huh?
I love this amount of light. This is good. This is producing a lot of light, and I'm appreciative.
Be careful to not keep that next to any models, or you will have a blob.
Yeah.
Or dice,
You
for that
have-
matter. This is weird.
Beholden to the flame unto plastic.
What's weird?
This is fucking weird.
No DM screen.
No DM
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah.
It's oddly open. I can't tell if I like it or not. You have it.
And I'm going to be honest with you, Chief. I'm worried. I am worried about this section now.
We have fear.
Cherry chopped or cheddar.
You're afraid that I can't just.
No, it's not that.
Can't muck any rolls to save a party from a TPK.
No, it wasn't that either.
I don't think she does that.
I don't at all do that.
I'm gonna be rolling dice for the most part on the tablet, to be honest with you.
Well,
Oh, cool. We can't
she
see
still
it anyway.
can.
Oh, perfect.
She totally still can, but I don't think she does.
Fair.
I think we're at a point where A, we know we can be brought back anyways, and B, Amy just doesn't give a shit. Amy will fucking kill us.
Yeah.
Amy's like, I love you all, but God, you are just on borrowed time when it comes to dying.
I mean,
You're just so killable.
God, you're killable.
God, are you ever?
Azathoth has a fucking tentacle with your name on it.
Does he have one for me? So what happened last time?
Don't say that under your breath, please.
Does she
Don't
have
say it
one for me?
over your breath either. Or in like not over or under, but the media. Don't say it there either.
I'm not allowed to say it in my head either, am I?
Nope.
Sorry.
Actually, you can think it. Just don't say it.
So what happened last time?
I almost killed our friends.
Zevran's fucking dead.
Castor was convinced the town was gonna blow up.
And
Yeah.
All of us did immediately say completely different things, didn't we?
Yeah. And that summed it up. Well and good.
Yeah.
Pyra got fucking stabbed,
Drolich has a prisoner now.
but she exploded, so the person who stabbed her got blown off the side of the ramparts we were on.
And that
Then-
person is now trapped
Extra.
in the sword.
Then we went down some stone stairs that a man made, and while that happened, they ambushed a tank, whereupon Cass almost killed 2 people of our own.
3, actually.
Who
Who
was
was
the
the
third?
third one?
Galahad.
No, Galahad was fine.
Galahad was okay because they rolled an excellent dex save.
Yeah.
Well, Cass almost killed 3 people by blowing up a bunch of shit, and
They
then
didn't. They're
we-
not dead.
we successfully
I don't know what
captured
you're.
the tank,
I
but
don't know what.
completely detreaded it, so it's useless.
But did you die?
But here's the thing, men.
Well, we left it behind anyways.
Yeah, well, because shit we ended up wouldn't have using it anyway, even if it wasn't.
So that whole combat ended, and I arrived smack on the very end of it. Like, what the fuck did you guys just do?
We blew up a tank.
Whereupon everyone took interest in the sword I had because Zevran left his sword in me when he stabbed me, which was awesome. That felt really good. So everyone took interest in that and took turns examining it. Turns out it has a fucking
Philosopher's Stone.
Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, there's a Philosopher's Stone inside of the handle. The pommel has. Yeah, what's new?
Back
Fucking
from a tremendous cock up on my part.
I'll fucking choke you out.
Poppycock.
There is also on the hilt an inscription that is
I'm not sure where we left off,
strikingly
actually.
similar to
I don't know where we
the
left off
symbol
either.
of
Did I
it.
mention I got stabbed?
Yeah.
Yes, you mentioned you got stabbed.
He's
I got stabbed.
he's now talking about these safe
Well, we don't know where the recording left off was what I was asking.
Oh,
Well, I've also got the backup.
Yep, and it's got as you said a symbol for the goddess of love on it as well. Castor's having hallucination things.
Castor's having PTSD hallucinations because
He's
he has seen a lot of people die.
He's hearing Chuko's voice and seeing visions of where we left him.
Another thing about Zevran's sword, curiously enough, it does not have the Amaran crest on it anymore.
Yeah, it has the crest of another
I believe it's one Nazi party that it has the symbol on it. I believe.
Udatoten.
Yeah, Nazis.
It's not Nazis.
German name, Nazis.
Not any more Nazis than the...
Schnitzel, Fritzel, Kino, der Toten Nazis!
That's the that was my favorite zombies map.
It was everyone's favorite song, that wasn't it? Kino
Pretty good.
Death was-
So,
I liked DEF CON.
Pyra
That's
took
Black Ops.
everyone back to where she left Zevran, where he was still unconscious on the side of the ramparts, and we had a fun interrogation with him.
Oh yeah.
Where he
And at the
held-
end of the interrogation, he fucking called Cora's bluff on whether or not she would kill him, and she totally did. And Zevran is inside the Sword of Chaos now.
And
To
he's like,
Cora's infinite credit.
She did.
Yeah, just kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
Your kill count in this campaign has gone up by 1. Putting you now at, I think, like
Yay!
7.
It's your brother.
Yeah. and I put his soul in the Sword of Cost.
But hey, he didn't get away.
That's true.
Because he would have
That's true.
he would have been resurrected. Bet
During
money.
the interrogation, though, Pyra sold out Eliana to the Drow in lieu of selling out Graceland to the Drow.
Whoops.
Yep.
Whoops.
So we learned several things. Apparently the Drow have been in like experimenting a lot with necromancy, as well.
As they do.
They also have been using Philosopher's Stones to make tanks
And stuff.
and
Yeah.
stuff. So they know how to make a Philosopher's Stone.
And make them regularly, with
Yeah.
consistency and power.
I mean, you don't know that. You've only seen one so far.
He's also explained about them making tanks out of solid blocks of steel using them,
They've seen two.
which
tanks.
means, which implies that they have done so.
2 stone?
And there
No,
is-
they've seen two tanks.
and that
They blew
we've
one
seen more than 2. We just killed 2.
So that brings us to where we are, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep. At the corpse of Zevran, freshly stabbed, about to find somebody to tell about
Well, no,
stuff.
we were walking towards the center of the city.
We
we
also
were headed towards the center.
we
were
also
already
learned
on.
a couple more things. Drolish interrogated her prisoner. Learned that her daughter has been is apparent they're nearby relatively, right?
Busy.
Busy. Yeah, they've been busy. And also, we learned that there's a traitor in Arkbridge.
Yes.
His name is Mortius. I'm calling
Right.
it now. They're going to be either the necromancy or enchantment wizard of the Nine, or they're going to be someone who's very high up in the Nine's circle. Just calling that now.
Any other theories?
I think it might just be some schmuck.
I think he might have an uncle named Riccius, and they might go on
Give me
time
the fucking
travel.
It's
gun.
D.
Give me the gun.
Mord, not
Give me the
Mort.
gun! Give me the gun!
They may go on time traveling space adventures.
Give me the gun!
But for real, I think it's maybe some schmuck, because that's one of the easiest,
Gate guard.
relatively easy ways to get a mole.
A simple
I
gate
mean,
guard.
sure, but they blew
Have a
up.
Have a schmuck that's
It would
just
have
because
to be
he's a
someone
schmuck.
at least high up enough to have access into the tower.
Right, but I
At
don't
the
think it would
point
be
that it
someone
blew
who
up.
actually was in the Nine, because one of the best motivators for someone being a mole would be ambition.
True.
Someone who wants to move up.
You were saying though, Matt?
would be a
But
quick way to
I'm
move up.
saying they could be a maintenance person. They could be just about anyone
just
that
kill one,
that
there's
serves
only
as
one
a
left.
maintenance role. They can get because they need to get around to fucking clean the place.
True.
And just because ambition is a thing that they want, that doesn't necessarily mean they need to be ambitious to be ahead of Arkbridge, because this is the case. Well then, Arkbridge is going to fall anyway, everyone's going to die, so it would be ambition in the Drow's case, where
Well, it
it
could
doesn't matter
also
what
be.
position they're in.
It could also be you help us take Arkbridge, we hand Arkbridge to you, in which case it would still be moving up.
True. We also
But
learned.
then they'll be under the thumb of the Drow.
I
Correct.
don't fucking
We
care,
learned a couple
probably.
more things.
And
As
they're
well.
fools.
Zevran handed us a map that showed us a tunnel, route into Arkbridge from the Scar, which is huge.
Yes.
And he joked that he was betraying his entire empire doing that.
We got the pepperoni patsy, the one everyone likes.
Which, if to be frank, I don't think it's bullshit, but I think it's going to be heavily guarded.
Yeah.
Because
Especially now that they probably know that that's the tunnel that he gave us, since they were most likely somehow watching through his eyes.
or
listening to his ears.
the Drow probably knew about it the whole time, and they were just blocking it away from Arkbridge in the first place.
Or using it. They said they were fighting a battle underground.
Mason-
Mason,
using it,
Mason
yeah.
did want us to go underground to help reinforce the tunnels because they said they were being breached down there anyway. So fuck it, we're heading underground.
And we're gonna be heading underground in one way or the other. It's just bringing it in the matter of bringing it to the attention of one of the Nine or anyone else that's high up is a purpose. Is a great porp.
It's a great port.
Did we learn anything else?
No. Not to our knowledge.
Well, we come back to the scene at you guys in front of the corpse of Cora's recently deceased brother.
There's a couple more things I wanted to do with that. I wanted to search his body because most of it fell to ash, but I'm guessing his stuff didn't.
We already searched his body. We got the key that he was going to give us.
We got the key, but I want to search more for personal effects.
No.
I'm not looking for loot.
I don't think we had left off in front of the corpse. I think we'd already left.
We did like a dramatic pan out, but that
Yeah,
was just
it was
because I
just-
wanted the session to end.
Oh.
Yeah, there's drama.
So, on his body, as you search it more thoroughly, his greaves are incredibly heavy.
Incredible heavy.
Are they magic?
How do you inspect his greaves?
Oh, I guess I'll roll spellcraft. Hang on. Are they magic?
They're not magical, no.
Oh, they're not
They're
magic.
very heavy though. They weigh nearly as much as a person.
They're made of Mjolnir.
That
then
would be
actually,
more of an engineering role.
yeah, I will roll engineering and
You pointed at me directly. What's up?
Trollish. These greaves, they seem heavier than normal. Can you help?
Can you lift them with your broken arms?
Oh yeah, Drollish's arms got broken.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like,
That's
Oh
a
yeah, they're
thing.
still broken.
Thanks.
That
Yeah,
happens in
I'm just asking you to help me, basically.
That happens in all those
Especially when
dying
since
bits.
she's a blacksmith, she may be
Yeah.
able to help.
Yeah, maybe your expertise can help me out here.
All right.
Jorlis is just standing there with both of her arms like this, just like
They're
Roll
both like that.
just
Yeah.
backwards.
35.
Roll your smithing skill.
Okay. Yeah. I think that makes it. That is a 16 plus 13.
29.
20.
All right.
20.
So he had adamantite legs
Oh.
Just whole ass legs.
Just.
Oh.
from just above the end of the hip down.
This man has seen some things.
Had.
Had.
Had
That's true.
Ha!
Now
dead relatives.
his legs are made out of adamantine.
Oh.
Legs?
yes.
Yes.
Huh.
Another thing that you notice amongst the pile of ash is a heavy ruby. Do you pick it up?
Drollish will pick it up.
I
With what arms?
am gonna look. I'm
Vines.
gonna look at it first and
You can
pick
still
it
use
up
your
with my
hands.
mechanical hand.
Yeah, hand stuff.
Yeah, it's the ruby magic.
Well, I think Cora's already said what she's gonna do, so you can go fuck yourself.
So, it is obviously magical.
Also, pizza's done.
Oh, pizza
Can
time.
you bring me 3 slices of pizza?
Sure.
Can you bring me the rest of the pizza?
Ah,
Can you bring me the pizza minus 3 slices?
I'm not going to be able to find this image.
Pizza.
Here it is. The ruby has attached to it an amount of silver, which has been brassed over.
3 slices left for anyone who wants it.
It looks
slices
like
left.
that.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Oh, I've seen that before. Okay.
That's a nice image.
That would be his heart.
Anyway, so Cora picked it up.
With her mechanical hand, yes.
You need to specify that.
Have to specify.
I do specify that. You know something? Really glad I lost my hand. Rather, really glad I lost part of my arm. It
You're
has
welcome.
really helped out. Thank you.
What rancid magics permeate around this miserable object?
Can I roll some spell?
Is that
to
cause?
find out?
Yes.
He who despises the necro.
Probably something to keep him going.
He had died a long time ago then.
He said so
Spirit
himself.
is rotten.
Your brother's a piece of
And getting shot in the head will do that to a man.
Like beef
Your
left
brother
out
was
in
a
the hot
steampunk
summer
Nazi
for
zombie.
weeks on end.
29.
Cora, I thought you should know. Your brother's a
What were
piece
you
of shit.
rolling for?
Spellcraft.
For what?
To try and identify any properties about this.
Oh, you can't fucking do that.
Whoa.
Whoa, really?
No.
Whoa!
Okay.
And he
Shit on.
goes, no.
Get shit on, scrub. Fuck.
What's going on?
Mac.
I assume that replaced his heart at some point.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like this before.
I have
How's it feel?
Do tell.
once Sorry, I have poop on my face.
It's
Toss is eating, like-
it's him nomming on Zevran's
Can you
soul.
put ice in there and dump
Sure.
it out?
I keep having to walk away.
My old master, my lord, Vecna, had such a heart.
She draws the sword slightly so that more people can hear. Like more people can hear what's going on.
It's in the scabbard. It's just like my old
Yeah,
master,
For
my
her, it's in
old
the head. For you guys, it's just very faint noise. Whether or not you guys can hear the Sword of Kos is entirely whether or not it's narratively, shorthandedly important for me or not.
Yeah, she just draws it slightly so that the voice broadcasts.
I want to know Pyre still isn't there.
Everything Koss says is out loud. It's just when inside the scabbard itself, it's like having a gag.
It sounds like a fucking death trooper.
Your old master? I don't believe you've told me his name.
Vecna.
Name I recognize, I'm sure.
You can roll history.
I'm fairly
Why not?
certain he's mentioned Vecna before.
And he definitely has.
Okay, yes, he has. That's right. So,
Vecna is a piece of world-important history because he once dominated almost the entire world.
that's right, he did. Okay.
The formation of the Union
Was to kill Vecna.
was literally to kill Vecna. In which Kos played a pivotal role during that period of time.
Okay. And I wouldn't have said that bit about you not knowing his name.
It then subsequently lasted for a hot minute, got into a war with the Drow, and fucking died.
I mean, it lasted several thousand years of unprecedented peace and stability and technological evolution.
As I said, a hot minute.
The Union is like Kurt Cobain. Everyone knows him, everyone likes him, but sometimes they start getting really big and then they die.
It's too accurate.
All thanks to some knife ears.
Listen here, you fucking dagger-eared cunt!
In any
Got
case,
him.
so
I need to play a dwarf.
Dwarves are so fun.
then this technology, this magic, it's incredibly old.
It's very old and dangerous, but, well, what isn't anymore?
So then what is it?
I wouldn't be able to tell you. Keeps him alive. Don't know how.
She turns the like stone heart in her hand. And, like gazes closer at it. And then puts it in her pocket.
Well,
As you gaze closer in it, it has an inscription on its side.
Okay.
It is of a six-fingered hand.
What would I
You can roll nobility or history to recognize it.
I would like to roll ability.
it's pretty good.
That's pretty high. It's a pretty good check, 32.
It is the symbol that Vecna's army used when he conquered the world.
Oh.
Severin, what did you get yourself into? The stone kept him alive. Not much is obvious. What isn't obvious, and what is entirely more concerning, is according to Kos. It's from the time of it's from the Second Age, back before the Union was formed. Technology and magic that was used by Vecna's soldiers.
They heard that.
Okay.
That was allowed. You
Did you
drew
re-
the sword, remember?
Yeah. All right.
Kaz says
Yeah, they heard
Uh,
that.
Told them already.
they heard that.
Korra does the thing that samurai do with the katana where they just like,
So-
use the thumb on the guard of it. To
It is
get it out of
like
the
it is.
sword.
Does it shine up like a beacon for these guys with the tech magic, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
It's probably like the brightest fucking thing in the room right now, metaphorically speaking.
Well, I mean, her pages are.
I don't know. You kind of are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Did
true.
you forget?
You have the
Chester?
pauldron and axe of a god.
It is
No,
as
he
far
has
as
that
individ-
fucking armor.
It is as far as individual items go.
No,
No,
again
it's
wrong.
So-
Alright.
You hold that title for a while now. Just hold
Nice.
that. Hold
So-
that W.
what I was,
I'll take that.
and it's also got the symbol of his forces on it. So, either Zevran and by extension the rest of the Drow have gotten themselves into some very old, very powerful, and forgotten secrets, which again is quite probable, or some old forces are coming back in the world.
Vecna is dead. I killed him myself. I rent his soul, screaming, from his body, and tossed his cascading corpse down into a cavern the likes of which there is no bottom.
Koss, your very existence should tell you that death is not.
I
is not a
understand
hard thing to
souls better
overcome.
than anyone here. He is dead, gone. The only thing that remains of him are textbooks and memories. He is destroyed. And we will be too, if I am not given the forces necessary to hold back the unbelievably painful tide of Asmodeus.
For your sake, then, I hope you're right. For all of our sakes, then, I hope you're right. And she sheaths the sword.
If he is alive, he will draw me, and I shall slay him again.
Or nods to herself.
There's nothing there.
Before you put it in your pocket, Cass like looks at it and says, "May I?"
Careful.
She's always wearing gloves.
That's
the
right.
ruby
Okay, that is right.
absorbs through your organic material gloves, through your arm, and replaces your heart. You are the reincarnation of Vecna.
Yeah, she puts
This is a final
You-
boss fight now.
she puts it into her gloved hand.
Okay. Is there any sort of alchemical properties that I can check out with this thing, or no?
Probably not without a lab.
Okay.
This thing is intricate.
Okay.
It's
Well-
intricate, it's powerful, it's fucking old.
Cass like looks it around, puts it in the light, and just does that kind of shit.
There is a liquid inside which jostles, and you've seen it before, but you can't quite put your finger on it.
When we get back home, do you mind if I look at this in my lab?
Sure.
She gives it back.
And she puts it in her pocket.
Anyways,
No.
time's wasted. We need to get to the center of the city.
I agree. We wasted enough time. Let's go.
Right. We need
It's
to.
hard to call it a waste. I mean, you know,
The city is under siege. There's better times.
Not really.
Than this.
It's this siege is doomed without its commander and with Azarandius back up.
it
Unless
has no
we
commander.
still-
The walls are sealed. This isn't our fight to fight. They fixed it. We're good.
Yeah, unless
Then we
unless-
have Jackal to save, in which every second counts.
we need to link up with the forces around Arkridge. We need to tell them what we know, both about this map and about Mordius.
Out of character, are we taking his adamantite legs?
Yeah.
Into the bag of holding they go.
Into the bag holding.
His disembodied
Yeah.
legs.
Hail
Into the wormhole.
Wait,
I'll
can
take
we?
those
You can
legs.
count those legs.
Those
and
are
then
my
go-
legs now. Thank you.
Oh my
No, the legs
God.
don't even need to be removed.
Why would you wear my
Oh,
brother's
you meant
old
to make her
legs?
Scipia.
You would have to
Yeah.
lose more body.
No, I was saying, can we take the legs? Is that a thing that can be
As
done?
I stated
Yeah, the rest of his
previously,
organic flesh
bones are
is
material,
ashes.
and so are legs.
Oh. Oh,
In
no.
any case,
I'm gonna be the incarnation of the Adeptus Mechanicus in this fucking bitch. Flesh is weak.
is there anything more on him?
Fucking fire rate.
Nothing like-
Actually, he does have one thing.
What's that?
The Drow had a piece of technology that you have yet to find in the human and dwarven kingdoms. It's really only found amongst nobility. It's very expensive.
Oh.
He has on his person, on a piece of paper, a piece of, not canvas, I don't know how to describe it.
Parchment?
It's almost like cardstock.
Oh, okay.
And it is a snapshot of
Oh.
of your family with an X over several faces.
Oh. A hit list.
He's been killing them bitches.
The X's are over faces that you would recognize as family members who died when your family was destroyed.
The bitches who've been killed.
There is a circle over your face, and Avalia's, and your younger brother.
No, that's okay. She like kind of just like this look of shock goes through Cora's face, and then she folds the part of like the photograph up and puts that like in a pocket that is very close to her heart, And fuck you.
I'm sorry.
And she just
Rocks fall, Pyro only dies.
yeah.
Why
Pyro
does
only
Pyro only die? Why
Because
can't I find?
Because she's away from the party. They don't fall on the party. They fall on her.
Look at this crap.
Where are you?
I fucking walked away when I sold Aliana out.
That's right.
Yep.
Pyra's over about 30 feet over, and she's finding God right now.
She's finding something.
It's probably not a god. They're dead.
Sadness.
Maybe not all of them rolls.
No, certainly not all of them.
Have you
just
ever found
most.
the infinite depresso? Hey, look, there it is.
Cass notices your probably obvious look of shock.
Oh yeah, it's like to anyone who's been looking at her, it's like she looked she looked more shocked than she did when you told her that Zevran was here.
Oh, well.
That's quite the shockaroo.
Does she say that?
No.
Please don't.
She doesn't go. She doesn't look at you and go, "Now that's quite the shockaroo face you got on your face." Whole thing.
It would
Who
be
are you, and what have you done with Cassandra?
I think I've had a little too much absinthe.
Castor looks down
Bombs
at the pile
long
of ashes
time
that
was
was
strong.
formerly Zevran. Well, I would pray for his soul, but I don't think he would have appreciated that, and also we know where his soul is, so that point's kind of moot, I guess.
I suppose it is. And she walks forward towards the center of the city. Which I imagine is where Pyra is. Closer to.
Nevertheless, your sentiments appreciated, Castor. Thank you.
Of course. Now, let's find a way underground.
Yes.
And he walks off following Cassandra.
Cass goes to Pyra and pats her on the back and says, "Alright now. No time to waste. Gotta go save your girl."
Trollish checks if the half-orc on her shoulder is still unconscious.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
You broke her leg.
Yeah.
She's gonna stay that way for a while.
Alright. Hot minute.
And she has her hand out to help you get up.
I'm afraid it's too late for that. And she does not use your hand to help her up.
Just fucking.
But
Not if I have anything to say about it, and she walks forward.
Yeah. So, if you guys are looking for a way out of the city, you'll be walking around for a couple hours. There's stragglers that get taken care of. The city is relatively rapidly in the process of cleaning up. You know how in Portal, basically all of the walls and all of the rooms are entirely modular?
Yeah.
Whenever anything gets fucked up,
And
it
they
just fixes
yeah.
itself.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically this entire city. I love this town. It
God,
is-
that's rad.
it is alive.
Oh.
This is fancy.
Metaphorically. Probably
That
literally.
efficacy
This kind
is
of magic, who the fuck
incredible.
knows?
I sure hope these guys get south.
This place is fucking weird.
We can help them.
We can.
We can try.
But after walking around for a couple of hours, sorry,
Very fine.
just holding a gun at all times. Yes. Pointed at the head of the table. God, that crust does not want to.
That happens.
There we go.
Super dry.
Okay. So, after walking around for a couple of hours in the city, you guys do eventually find a person who is willing to help you. It is a man who is covered in stone. Oh, hey! Pyra recognizes this man.
Zane Hanwei. Everything's going well, I trust.
Yes, I had been looking for you. The city's self-repair mechanisms have been properly repaired, so they're in the middle of putting things back together as they were. It is unfortunate the few families who have been damaged by this happening will unfortunately be irreparably damaged, but the city will live on.
This would be the member of the Nine whom I saved and whom promptly saved me in return.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
You have our thanks. You are very welcome. You are not necessarily the first outsiders to come to Arkbridge, but you are the first who didn't come from the Drow.
Understandable.
We
First
have
for everything.
defectors from times to times. Slaves in the tunnels run down winding pathways, eventually finding their way back to us.
we take them in. Why wouldn't we? They harbor just as much hatred as we do, and that can be cultivated into something constructive. Like the city.
Because, you know, it's freaking...
How about the other members of... what about the other members of the Nine? Did they all make it out alive?
They're all accounted for. They're a lot harder to kill than one bomb.
Good.
Though they came very close. I very nearly died.
As Arandius, too. Had we not found him, the Drow would have found him first.
Is that so?
The look on his face is fucking priceless.
That's gonna get lower.
He was in a pool of his own blood, unconscious.
Is that so?
What a bitch! What a bitch!
Yes.
I swear this is gonna end with,
Hey, Azarandius! I heard, I just happened to overhear that you went down like a little bitch.
Cass wants to roll sense motive to see why he's making such faces.
Okay, go ahead.
Like to guess
Do you
why.
really need to?
Oh.
What did you roll?
14 total.
They are rivals, and he is going to rub this in his face.
But hey, Azarandius! I heard that when the bomb went and you fell out of the tower, you went down in a pool of your own blood like a little bitch and had to rely on outsiders to pick you back up.
Look at his lips. Look at the top of his head.
So
Cass stifles a laughter.
for reference again, Zinhanwei is the head transmutation wizard, which
Yep.
accounts for spells like Stone Skin.
Yep.
Azarandius is the head abjuration wizard, which is spells that reduce incoming damage or otherwise affect the environment to prevent other things from happening. So spells like banishment, mage armor, etc. are abjurations.
I cast this. No, you don't.
Yeah, pretty
We
much.
actually never got a description of what Zinhanwei looked like, because at the time I rescued him, he was still Stoneman.
He is still covered in
Oh,
stone.
well, he's still
I'm just
Stoneman.
imagining.
He is like a terracotta soldier.
oh, that's fucking rad.
That's cool. That's a lot better than what I had. I was
He
imagining
has-
that one dude from Boku no Hero.
I bet he has like
Oh,
permanent
God.
stone skin, actually.
That'd be cool.
That is entirely possible.
I learned an interesting fact about permanence, by the way, today, just as an aside. It can be dispelled.
Oh,
You
are
can
you
spend
okay?
you can spend all of the money to permanently enlarge person on somebody, and then you walk into an encounter with a mage, and they're like, dispel magic.
No. That goes
That's
away
that's
now.
trash.
That's not.
That's like negating a spell that was cast 3 turns ago.
But, anyways,
That's fucking dumb.
yeah, he's sitting here before you all, and he's like, I had
He's
actually
hiding.
hoped I'd find you again before you left. Not that I feel like you'd have an easy time leaving.
Return target enchantment to its owner's hand.
I wanted to show my savior, my brother.
Oh.
Yes, I was looking forward to meeting him.
Sure. Come with me. And if you have any questions, and this goes for all of you, feel free to ask. I will answer as many as I can, and I will get you in contact with the people who can answer them. I imagine you're getting ready to settle in for a very long stay.
No, actually, we had a bit of information that I feel like you might be interested in. You and all of the Nine.
And anyone else who is in charge.
Really?
The enemy brother's commander, Severin Omeron. He's dead. We killed him.
Wouldn't be the first time. Let's see
No.
if it sticks.
Trust me, it will.
Oh! He just fucking opens the sword.
I'm just saying.
And
Let's see if it sticks this time. We've torn him asunder, stolen his soul, rent out his heart.
stolen his soul.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I see.
Oh!
Well,
Go on,
let's see
though.
if it sticks this time then.
So, we'll see if it sticks.
Before he died,
believe it when I see it.
we bartered some information from him. You see,
Do you have any reason to believe it's reliable?
well, we're going to go find out if at least one of those pieces is reliable, and she produces the map that Severin drew. This is apparently a map showing a tunnel through the Underdark leading from the Scar to Arkbridge.
Oh. Well, if that map is functional, then this is huge. We can link back up with the free peoples of the world. We can lead a crusade against the Drow once again and crush their bastard empire as they so rightfully deserve. Bring their empress to be drawn and quartered before the peoples of the world for all the suffering she's imposed upon us.
And they would all, and you would be a powerful symbol, something from the old world that they could all rally behind.
Rest assured, if my understanding is correct of what our plans are next, we will be verifying that this map is accurate. We have a certain interest in something in the Underdark.
Yes, it would be quite a walk. I need to put you in contact with my associates. They might have an interest. Perhaps ulterior things to ask of you. Yeah.
I'm afraid that isn't the worst of the news.
We have one more bit of information.
Oh.
A name.
What does the name Mordius mean to you?
Mordius? And it's hardly possible to miss. He's the elected leader of Arkbridge's parliament.
Well, there goes my theory out the window.
Well, shit!
Zevran marked
Motherfucker.
him as the mole that set the bomb.
Not only that, but he, out of character, also had been feeding information to the Drow for apparently a long time.
He also was apparently feeding them information for a while.
What the shit is
If you're asking why he told us this much, Cora Amaran, nice to meet you.
What the shit is this?
I do not know that I can trust either of the two pieces of information you have just given me. More so that the second calls into question the first. Mordius would never betray Arkbridge, and the Drow would certainly never accept his help. But if that is true, hypothetically, then the Drow are desperate. And this fills me with joy, because one politician we can remove from play.
I'm not saying that this is immediate action, and I understand your position. I'm just saying, the lot of you are very powerful. Perhaps
Our
some
power is limited.
Perhaps some investigation is warranted.
I know you have probably seen great feats of magic today, but I assure you our power and scope is limited. We draw on the city. We need it now. We have become accustomed to it. The surrounding area, and a large part of the core of the city, permeates an intense magical energy. We feed on it. It powers our spells. It is, in part, what has enabled us to live such unnaturally long lives. If we leave, we begin to wither. Not immediately. It's not like you walk out into the wind and turn to ash. But it is part of what has made it so difficult for us to launch any large-scale attacks. We have, at best, a couple of months, maybe a few years' worth of movement outside of Arkbridge's sphere. If you're new to Arkbridge, then the effect is lessened, but when you live here, especially well past your species' natural lifespan, we just begin to rot. The entire Union space used to be like this, but we honestly don't understand the technology anymore. Or the magic.
I see.
All the better we unite everyone then. Hit the Drow hard and fast, get this taken care of as soon as possible.
Hopefully.
We will be checking in on the information that he gave us, but
You will need someone to come back. We'll need to know whether or not it is true.
we can't. I'm sure I can reach you through a sending spell.
I'm sure you can.
And if that doesn't work, this ring that I wear, and she takes off her glove and takes out the ring that the captain gave her. This is linked to another one, my compatriot. He has the one that it's linked to. Leave it in your stead, and we can try it that way.
Speaking of which, where are our compatriots?
You came with others?
Two of them specifically. One of them was rather similar to myself. The other one was a very large hobgoblin man in a particular suit of armor that may be technology of which may be familiar.
I have seen him around. Yes, he has... Honestly, I don't know what era his technology is from, to be quite honest with you. Or
Pre-Union.
your suit.
Pre-Union. Chronomancer stuff.
Right, well, that aside. I will take you to the tower. I believe I know who is leading your friends around town, and I will send for him as well.
One final question. This is more of a personal thing on my end.
Sure.
You wouldn't happen to know of the person who made this? And she holds out the Wayfinder, and I guess also the God Killer.
The God Hand.
That is a very old gun.
Which one of us
Looking
tanked
at the
bullet from that
Wayfinder.
thing again?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I remember the
That's
days when things like this were built on the regular.
Hand.
Weapons built with an axe to grind and a vendetta against the evils that this world are plagued with.
Yes.
I know the woman who made it. I have no idea where she is.
It's a
Sorry,
running
Cass.
theme. It's a running theme. It's okay. Would you happen to know of her master too? Adrixia?
I can take you to her.
Is that so?
Watch it be a gravestone.
Yes.
Is she alive?
No.
Hold it.
Well,
She died in an unfortunate accident just a few years ago.
A gun exploded in her hand.
These things happen.
It was impressive.
That's what counts.
she died when a friend of hers shot a fucking bag of explosives that she was standing next to.
During our last major siege, she was one of the few more important people that we lost. The way she died, as I said, was impressive. She and whoever she was shooting at both shot through the barrel of each other's guns.
Wow.
The wind apparently made it just so that the bullets had curved past each other. The ensuing alchemical mishap resulted in both of them being rather messily disposed of.
Unfortunate.
She was one of our greatest.
I would very
She-
much like to see her grave.
Sure,
if possible.
that can be done.
Do you
Raise
not?
his tombstone from earth. I just kind of drag this around with me.
It follows.
I'm curious about something you kept mentioning. Does no one in this city? I'm sure that whoever is the necromancer leader of the Nine can definitely raise the dead, but can no one bring people back?
The magic is known to us, yes, and there are some clerics in the city who may find that possible. Myself included even could bring individuals back from the dead with considerably more powerful arcane magics being used to mimic the divine. Unfortunately, those spells require materials we don't have.
I see.
We save them in emergencies. If someone like Azarandius were to die, or members of the Parliament were to die, then they would be prioritized in their resurrection to maintain stability.
Understandable.
Okay.
Azarandius in particular, he maintains the barrier around the city. His death would mean the rest of us go in short order afterwards. I can cover the entire city in a dome of stone, but then we're sitting on borrowed time, stagnant air, and without the sun.
I see.
Anyways, I agreed to take my savior to my brother. So let us go.
Lead the way.
So he takes you to the tower. The tower has no entrances. It opens in response to him being there.
There is no door, and then suddenly,
Yeah. The inside of the tower, despite the fact that the tower is obviously like like Empire State Building sized, right? Like it's a block squared at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Probably more than that in the case of this tower.
Hot damn.
The inside is noticeably larger. It's like an entire football stadium's worth of size from one end to the other in this grand atrium. And within it are dozens of people who are presumably mages of some description, wearing robes, walking around, large tomes, that kind of thing. There's the equivalent of like thopters flying around grabbing books for people. Like, that's what the inside looks like.
Cass repeatedly walks inside, looks at everything, walks out, and then looks at just like,
It's bigger on the inside.
I got it.
Transdimensional space.
Nice.
I don't know who built it.
Oh. Really?
Nope. And we don't know where the space is either. It would have to be somewhere. Maybe it's a demi-plane, but it's been elusive in identification thus far.
Our adventures bring us to the weirdest places.
Most interesting places.
I agree with I agree with Cass.
But he,
Of course you do, you're nerds.
after entering the room with you guys next to him, taps his staff, and a circle opens up around you guys, and you guys phase through the floor. Despite going down, you have the sensation of like ascending in an elevator, and a few moments later, you are in a room.
She
with,
doesn't say that in character, by the way.
Go on.
You are in a room with the crooked-nosed, bloodied, and battered Azarandius, with his robes torn, and there's like a magic greatsword sitting on the side somewhere, and he's got this big old Gandalf staff.
There he is.
And also in the room is a woman wearing black and gold and like purple robes. She's got very long hair.
You can say it's a Liliana Bass.
No, it's not.
That's
She's,
who you need to.
she has noticeably sunken in cheeks, and her nose is like brought back, looking like partially rotted. And then the last thing in this room is a very large urn, and it is on fire perpetually.
I see.
That's great.
Azarandius.
Ah! Hello, friends.
Yes, I don't believe we actually met, and she sticks her hand out. Cassandra Wayfinder, pleasure to meet you.
Please don't crush my hands with your mechanical whatever you've got going.
These are normal, I promise.
But, yes, hello. You are instrumental in making a difference in the securing of the city. We would have lost a considerable number of lives were it not for your contributions.
Glad to have helped so. Zenhanwei, which I'm assuming the urn.
The urn is my brother.
I should have figured.
He's a little bit more immature and rash than myself.
This is a sick practical joke he likes to pull sometimes.
He calls himself... He calls himself Vulcanus.
Yeah! Damn right I do! Hot damn!
There's like the urn like, shuffling.
Yes.
The urn, like the lid goes like,
Yeah.
just
The
bounces
lid
off it.
rattles on top of it,
Yeah.
bursts out in a cloud of smoke and flame.
That's one way to make sure you stay cremated.
I did this to myself. Intentionally. That's to say nothing of all of the times I burned myself back when I still had a body. And then, like, out of the urn sprouts what is very obviously, like... You guys have seen elementals before. This guy is, like, the highest possible tier flame elemental that exists. If he were to say, fuck this, and then nope out to the elemental plane of fire...
He could.
Whoever the leader of the plane of fire is would be like, actually, you know what?
It's this guy now.
It's this guy now.
The whole plane is his now.
Is this room? Did this like when he came out of the urn? Did it get
Ah,
like
sir,
enormously
you're back.
hotter?
Good to see you.
No. No.
Drollish, noticeably, just kind of.
The room does
She
not
backs
get
up.
significantly hotter. It feels perpetually like the middle of winter next to a campfire, or like next to the hearth. It's
Oh,
a very
okay.
comfortable temperature.
Okay.
Cass goes and puts out her hand to shake.
Inadvisable. He's just like, you're a brave one.
You're bold. I like it. And then he shakes your hand.
You take 3d6 fire damage.
No. But your armor is noticeably scorched.
Well, shit.
Yeah. Cool.
And she
Yeah, Drolish is noticeably 15 feet away from him.
Your brother impressed upon me that I should meet you. I think I see why now.
You look like a pyromancer. Smell like one too. I'm just kidding. I don't have any olfactory senses anymore.
Well,
I love this guy.
our pyro is one of the most talented pyromancers I've ever seen.
Now, what I can smell or see on her are pages to an incredibly important document, so I would be inclined to agree with whatever you're saying. I'm picking up what you're laying down.
It's all right here. And
Catch-
she like snaps them into like view for a second before she puts them away.
catching what you're throwing, I suppose.
It's very impressive
I'd
to have
imagine the
found
motion
so many.
of that draws considerable attention considering they're pages of a codex.
Very impressive to have found so many and not managed to destroy yourself. That tends to be the problem with finding the remnants of the Codex Ignis, is that the types of people who are drawn to acquiring an item such tend to be the types who are good at dying.
I've had my fair share of close calls.
Yeah.
Though thankfully none of them have really been the result of this.
Yes, my brother has had a number of close calls too, hence why he is an urn. I am going to point out for the last time that that was intentional.
I did it on purpose.
It was a practical
Difference.
joke,
Oh my God.
like I told you.
She turns
When
to
I
the
did.
woman in purple. I don't believe
I love
you've
this
given
man
your
so
name.
much.
What is yours? If I may. Just another NPC to chat the voice.
Yeah.
Fucking Amy's like, you son of a bitch. I'm gonna fucking kill Cass.
They call me the Undertaker, but my name is Necris.
Pleased to meet you. And she does the same thing with shaking
That's
hands
the
now.
type of name where you have one destiny. There is one job for you in the world. It's like, I want to
I want to be a fireman! You're going to be a necromancer.
I want to be a savior!
Yeah, well, your name is Necris.
Damn it!
That's one of those things where you as a person have been predetermined.
Oh,
Yeah,
rip
she-
Necris.
You don't
She
really
goes
think
to
that's
shake
her
hand like
real
how she
name,
does
do
with
you?
everyone else.
It'd be great.
She
Well, they did say
shakes
they
your
call
hand.
her the Undertaker, but her name is Necris, so...
She, when you shake her hand, you notice that like all of the ligaments and tendons are visible. Like the skin on her hands is almost completely gone. So it's very uncomfortable. Cause you ever notice how like when you move your arm, you can
Yeah.
see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
It's
like,
like
that.
shaking hands with a really old person, kind of.
Cass
How it's
isn't-
just like, oh, I feel like I could break this if I
Cass
just
isn't
went like
phased.
this.
She just looks at her and just
We just went
treats her like a normal person.
As Necris has stepped forward, Castor has noticeably moved next to Drolish.
Cora's just like got.
I can sense the divine magic on you. I promise you we needn't come to blows. My interest in the necromantic is strictly scholarly. You'll notice we don't have an army of corpses waltzing around.
Not to mention necromancy saved your life earlier, choir boy.
She has a point, Castor.
Oh, I didn't say that.
No, I was talking about her.
Oh, right. There's a lot going on.
Caster.
Daggers.
She.
Daggers?
Okay, Caster, let me put it this way. I stepped this far back because I'm a plant. And I don't want to be next to a large, impressive fire source.
It's okay, as long as you don't trip,
Yeah,
we'll
that
be
was
good.
That was a compliment. She said
She
it was
has a
impressive.
broken leg.
Drolish. I'm sheltered, not an idiot.
A broken
Unfortunate.
leg.
Broken legs, broken arms.
You're
She's-
standing here, holding a person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is a very impressive person.
And like as
Fucking, he just.
as Amy's
This guy, these people rock!
You guys
Hold
should have
on,
shown
hold
up
on.
way sooner.
as he says that, vines start wrapping around the person on her shoulder and eventually brace her arm so it's not as floppy.
Oh yeah, that's fucking dope.
Why can't we have more people like this around?
Because if we had an entire city of you, we'd have died a long time ago.
Oh, Sin Hanwei fucking hates his brother so much.
Or was that?
This
I love all of these people.
because you're an idiot. And
This is the difference between one brother being a wizard and the other being a sorcerer.
Yeah.
To be fair, she's unique.
That's a nice way to put it. Thank you, Caster.
I will pay for any expenses that would make her legs and arms better. That
anyone
was
who
my
can,
fault.
anyone who's got a
Expenses?
particularly green thumb
Any
could
sort
perhaps
of, any
just,
sort of gold or anything like that.
We're sitting in one of the biggest sources of magic that I've ever seen, ever. I don't think they have to worry too much about gold.
It's just a courtesy thing. Pay for services.
We don't have an economy.
Well, that would explain that. Would you like some gold from the south as a trinket?
Would you like a relic of what an economy looks like down south?
I suppose, sure, but
Would you like a souvenir?
for the most part, our entire society
I'll send you a
exists
postcard later.
on a matter of need, really. You are given according to your need. Households are fed according to their needs. Magical components are held off and used when most necessary, that kind of thing.
You know the penny coin press machines at theme parks?
Yeah.
You're essentially about to hand them one of those.
Well, she didn't know that. What the fuck?
We have arrived at a point where we have so much power and capability that there was no need for us to put any undue duress on the lower classes of our society.
Well, that would be nice and dandy down south.
It became a barrier, an inconvenience when dealing with foes on all sides.
Right.
To segregate the poorer folk from the campfire of the rest of us.
Cora looks like, when she said that they have no economy, like,
She's freaking out.
she's not freaking out. She's just like,
Struggling, like, what the? What?
it's a bit like the equation thing.
Yeah,
I
she's
mean,
over here
what
like
do you
Blake.
mean?
Just,
Wait, but I mean, like in a city full of super magical wizards, they can just create.
Oh yeah,
any
it's
food that
post
they
it's
want.
post scarcity.
Yeah.
I mean, I recognize that. Cora is struggling at the moment.
Yeah.
Caster's fucking beaming.
pirate. What was his name? Vulcus?
Vulcanus.
Vulcanus.
That's so fucking
Pirate
rad.
turns to Vulcanus and says, "Someone scorched the forest outside, I noticed. The arcane signature was quite unique.
Yeah! Yeah!
I have to admire your handiwork.
Yeah, they don't really let me out often.
I'm afraid without these, I wouldn't be quite the pyromancer of note I am."
Well, you know, I mean, we all gotta get somewhere somehow, right? I've been around, 12,000 years setting fires, so I've had some practice.
shit!
Are you all that old?
Oh, I believe the youngest member of the 9, hold on. So Azurandius is the oldest.
Carry the
And
one.
proud of it!
Carry the one. Fucking.
The youngest would be the Undertaker.
The necromancer's the youngest one. And
She's like what, 10,000 or something?
we're just spitballing here.
I am 120.
Vulcan is
Wow,
like, what a
impressive.
little baby.
And you've gotten far enough to be one of the members of the 9 in a city this full of powerful magics like this?
I'm scared of her now.
I'm
Well,
impressed.
For one, necromancers tend not to last long. Our spells backfire on us, and unlike evocation and pyromancy, where one's soul can potentially be bound to another item, necromancy tends to be the case where, when you fail, your soul is dead too. So, seeing as how that hasn't happened to me yet, I must be pretty damn good. I spent the entirety of what was of my mortal life studying necromancy up until the age where I expired, and I set in motion an amount of magics to reproduce my autonomy upon my expiration, and have continued studying in a post-mortal fashion.
To get so far in only in so much less time. I had 150 years to study it, and I didn't get very much. I didn't get very far.
The trick is, I think, largely, is even though we are a post-economic society, we can still speak about it in a scholarly sense. You have to look at less the flesh, which is what most people focus on. We reanimate corpses, we bring ghosts into the world. That's the general public perception. But what matters most is souls, and you must treat them like a resource to be valuably expended at the times when it is necessary.
Gestures at the sword.
Oh, I've got something like that. Let me show you.
Oh God.
Heard that a lot recently. I'm guessing Koss is so unhappy about this situation.
I have built up a repertoire of lesser souls that I have learned to stitch together for greater purpose. I mean, how many squirrels breed outside the walls is none of my concern, but I'll happily take what the exterminators bring me for extraction.
That's quite impressive.
I like her. I'm not saying that in character. I'm just I like her. She's very
Drolish is absolutely saying that in character.
The great machines
How
that you
thrifty.
see in this city, they are indeed great technological works, but they require an operator. And I give them one.
Better
A
to
rat can be trained to run through a maze for cheese. They're just big rats.
Better to have something that never hungers and never tires, and is always focused on whatever task you set it for. Then.
I wonder. There's 4 of them here, right?
They're just big rats.
So there's 4 of you here. Do you have any of the 9 that are specifically on the more alchemical side of things? Any that create stuff due to them not being in tune with the mana around them?
Everyone just turns to her.
Alchemy's not magic.
That's what I'm saying.
That's not true
Well, not
necessarily.
exactly, I guess, but
I'm saying, do they have anyone that is not in tune with the mana around them, so they have to rely on alchemy?
We had, for a long time, a sub-society of horticulturalists. It's started to wane off in the last 1,000 or so years. It's hard to rely on a science which requires resources, which we have increasingly less of. Accidents cause special extinction within our borders. We lose access to flowers and insects, which are of some import in the nature of mixing and brewing. So we do have some. We have a considerable sum of texts within the city, which you may find useful. But in terms of great alchemists, I'm sorry to say you'll have to search elsewhere, somewhere with more lively trade.
Thank you.
You are very welcome.
no. I thank you all for giving us the time of day, but I have something I wish to discuss with you, Azarendius.
Sure. By all means. I'm here.
Well,
Brother!
I am here.
well, there, as it's no doubt obvious, we're not from around here. We came from the south, and the Drow are starting to mobilize their forces. It looks like they mean to begin the war again. Our little town is their first target. Ow. I'm glad we were able to make a difference. I am glad that we were able to make a difference today, but we kind of need help.
Well, I'm not formally a leader here. I'm an important public figure. People would rally behind the things that I ask them to do. And to destroy the Drow, would I ever lead them to do so? But
I digress.
He's getting really excited for a second.
Ooh.
I think it's It's hard for me to say what we can and cannot do. We are away from the city, and we are amongst the council who fully understands my position. The reason we are stuck here, it's not just the magic around the city. And it's not just numbers, it's... I mean, what do we do if we lose? We've managed to have these walls stand for more than 10,000 years. We've studied the magics as best we could. In that time, we've created great works that have only been improved by successive generations of those fortunate enough to be born behind our walls, like Necros. But if we take the shield down, or march through the tunnels en masse, if we fail, it's all gone. It's not just fighting to the last for what is right, but if we march now, we risk the death of our society, of our way of life. It's not like losing a city or losing a country, you know, or ceding territory to a greater force. This is it. If we lose, then the Union is gone. It already effectively is, but we're what is left of it. We are its last soldiers, its last loyalists. And if we march, we could die.
How far into Drow territory is Arcbridge?
It is surrounded 360 degrees on all sides. It is an island in an ocean of Drow. For a good 70 to 80 miles in every direction, and there is a massive blockade that surrounds the entire city.
Gotcha. So there's not really too much of a chance of, hey, Arcbridge is still a thing, let's unify and march right fucking for it.
I mean, you'd be hitting probably the strongest concentration of Drow forces dug in intentionally in defensive positions.
They are all pointed at Arcbridge, though.
Sure.
I mean, they can turn a gun around, but that is worth noting that they all are pointed inside the city rather than outside.
It's like Castle Black.
I mean, the bunkers are all facing that way.
Yeah.
Just have to get behind the doors.
Well, I have a bit of information that you might find interesting. She produces the map that Zevran drew. This is potentially a path showing a clear pathway through the Underdark from Arcbridge into the Scar. We're going to verify its accuracy.
I would like to reveal one final thing. We have known for some years about a number of paths through the underground. We keep them secret. They are either too dangerous or too out of the way. They take too long. The logistics of moving troops through them inefficient, or they have to cross the undersea, which is perilous enough on its own. We can't afford to lose hundreds of soldiers on uncharted waters. So
if the general public knew, they'd riot because they want to leave.
It's not necessarily that they want to leave. I think the people in Arcbridge are happy to stay here. But they'd be much happier to liberate the world of, and I am sorry to say this, of your kind.
I suffer no misconceptions about what kinds of things the country I came from has gotten up to.
I like the specification.
We send on occasion individuals through these tunnels. Mason is one such agent. None of them that we have found thusly far link up anywhere near useful territories. We very occasionally send out a party in need of resources. But beyond that, we don't send large numbers. It's just too dangerous. Not only for the things that we could lose. We could wager to lose some of our our greatest agents. We could accidentally leak some of our great technology to the world. We've already leaked so much of it to the Drow, intentionally or not, just as a result of war. But the other thing that we seek to lose, for considering how long we've been caught up in this lie, is the faith of our peoples.
Well, don't use your people.
We need a big tunnel.
If I can if the five of us can find a path that would work for the rest of you, the Drow, you've been sitting here for 10,000 years or so.
I've been here a while.
The Drow are getting impatient.
They are. I have noticed an increased frequency in their attacks over the last 2,000 years.
And from what I've heard, it's never been this bad.
It has not. But, as every storm before it, we shall weather this mighty typhoon. If you are right, and if you are earnest, and you intend to bring back to us a method by which we can...
Oh.
What's going on?
Cat's getting in the garbage.
Is it JoJo?
No, it's Bishop.
God damn it. Now we have 2 trash children.
You have 2 possums.
Here, can you put ice in this glass?
Sure.
Fucking love tree cats.
But if
Garbage
there was a way
cats.
that we could
Possums.
move large amounts of equipment, forces, and things readily, then we would happily take it. The problem is, and you will find as you go, you know, it's one thing to construct a galleon which can navigate the undersea. It is another to produce a fleet without being seen in enemy territory. I don't know if you've noticed. We don't have a lot of boats lying around.
No, but if we can establish a route, I've been a lot of places in the undersea. I know places that are that are all not friendly to the Drow. I know people there who can help.
There are plenty of people who are willing to rally behind us.
Deserters?
Should the campaign happen.
Deserters and there are
Escaped slaves.
deserters, escaped slaves, and people who make their lives down there and down on the islands. There's a lot of them.
I was unaware such a place even existed in such tenebrous and unlivable corners of the world. They are admirable. Their tenacity, remarkable.
Some of the finest people I've known.
I'm sure you get along with them just fine then.
Yes, maybe so.
But the thing is, as Arandius, we're going to figure out. We will find out if this path is legitimate, and if it is not, we will find a path because we're running out of time. All of us, I'm afraid. If it's not the Drow, it's something else.
They've already begun a proxy war. That's where our town comes into play.
Ah, to prevent violating the treaty, they've sent somebody else to start doing the dirty work.
A warlord, yes. He
And then
will be dealt
as our
with.
cool, the Wormling.
Wormlord, as our cool.
I like to refer to him as the Wormling. It doesn't give him the power that he wants.
Well, depending on the circumstances of your return, if you return, we might be able to lend some aid, at least in the form of technology. If you're planning to go into the Underdark, what we can at least lend you is this. Zen, give it to him. Give it to him.
Do the thing.
And
Zen.
Zen
Zen,
pulls
do the thing.
from a pocket on his side, which you all recognize as a small bag of holding, he pulls out a bottle. And in it is a war galleon, which is very intricate and well constructed.
Fucking ship in a bottle.
Is this what I think it is?
It is the one and only one in existence. If it is destroyed, we have no way to replicate it. It requires materials we no longer have.
Cora beams at this ship.
You shatter the bottle into the water, and the boat will rise out of it.
Remarkable. Truly remarkable.
It is a good ship.
What's her name?
She hasn't been put into the waters. She hasn't been christened.
Then I suppose I'll let you know.
If it wouldn't be too much trouble, there is one other thing.
She just killed her brother. Let her have it.
Dire need of.
By all means.
Wow,
I
way to
don't-
spoil the fucking mood, Drollish.
I don't suppose you have any scrolls of sending that you may be able to let me use.
Do you have a piece of parchment?
Yeah. We've got like notebooks and shit. Will that work, right?
Give it to me.
And pass
Zin, give me a pen. What am I to you? Do I just make things for you? Am I a dispenser? Yes. Now give me a pen. And he like hawks.
Yes, you are.
He literally spits at him a pen.
It's
to-
fucking Rico. It's like Rico from the fucking Penguins.
Yes. Yes.
Ah, God, Rico's so gross.
Rico was fucking.
Private Rico.
I remember there was one episode where the entire premise was Rico couldn't do things anymore.
Yeah. Gosh,
But-
God, this
He-
one's starting to get pretty heavy.
He writes out a scroll for you. Do you need anything else?
No, thank you.
You're very welcome.
He just pens it right there, just real quick.
There's someone who may be in impending danger that I need to make aware of it.
You're gonna need to get outside the city walls first.
That's where we're heading.
Before we go out about our business and do any sort of manner of things, would any of you mind showing me Amelina Drixia's grave and or her lab? If you still
Well,
do.
her lab is gone.
Unfortunate. Any of her belongings?
It's now a coach club.
Well, she left behind a number of treatises and tomes on the construction of firearms and other various mechanica.
Into the bags they go.
But her will was such that her lab would be destroyed if her chosen heir was not around to receive it.
Galen Distress?
Yes, she has been missing for a considerable amount of time. That was the last thing she made before she left.
Do you know where this points? And she shoulders it so the compass pops up.
I haven't the faintest.
Okay.
If I had to take a guess, it either points north to the Empress of the Drow, which would be impressive. I don't know how that would work.
I believe that would be good. I think that's what that is.
Or to herself. Like how you put a tag on an animal you rather like. Please return to return to owner if found.
This gun did play a message whenever I fully bonded with it.
What's that message again? I can't remember.
It was like a "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope" kind of thing, and it like she mentioned like if you find this gun, you undoubtedly know who I am, and you will know where to find me, and the compass pops up.
Oh,
Probably leads to her then.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why
Why
I'm
did we
like,
not figure this out sooner?
that's what I thought the case was.
Oh.
Like,
I thought it just fucking pointed north.
I thought it pointed at the fucking Drow Empress.
The other thing is she lived here a very long time. And she's been gone a very long time.
so she's probably not doing so well right now.
Who knows?
Who knows?
It's hard to say.
What about this? And she holds it to the God Killer. Who made this? Do you know? Was it Amelin or Kalen?
That's hard to say. Looks like copycat work, just based on what I know of them.
Ah, reverse engineering it for their own uses. That would make sense for the Drow.
A shittier smith taking up a craft and trying to treat it as artistically as a master is a relatively painful, visible bastardization of my friend's work.
I understand.
I see. Rubbish then.
I mean, it'll still shoot bullets.
Oh, of course, but not nearly as well put together as. And she kind of taps on the Wayfinder. I would very much like to find anything that was owned by Emma, though. That's at all possible.
Sure. I can produce for you a number of her tomes, though most of the examples of her firearms are owned.
That is fine.
He, over the next 2 hours, takes you to what is a relatively humble gravestone.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting on top of this gravestone, though, are a large number of personal effects, like people who have come by to pay respects and leave like a little bauble there. There are a lot of them.
She was well loved, it seems.
That she was. And then on her gravestone there is a title, the Rabid Watchmaker.
Rabid Watchmaker, you say? So she didn't specifically make guns.
She didn't start with guns. She started with watches. A large amount of the mechanics in the city are derivative based on her work, just upscale. It's all clockwork.
Impressive. Sounds like Cora.
Caster kind of glances at Cora's arm.
Well, like, unless you followed, this is like a couple hours later.
Yeah.
Oh, so you've been following?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't have been following. I want to find out. I want to find spells to copy.
Her guns were great and complicated. They were not simple bombards and cannons with powder.
No, Caster didn't know.
Drolish is currently trying to splint her arms so they're not like sideways.
Oh my gods, we have forgotten about you entirely. Hold on. Let us fix this. Here, come with me.
Oh, you're gonna use your wisdom to on me. Okay.
He takes you a ways through the city to what is obviously like some kind of hospital. He walks in and he's immediately recognized by a number of people, and Zen Hanwei is basically just like, her. All of the everything. Just fix all of the everything.
Cass stays at Amelin's grave, by the way. I just want to point that out.
And Drolish retracts the vines that were making a finger, and that starts to retract back inside of her.
Yes. They pull you into a room and lay you down on a cold slab, still clothed, and they just ask you, please stay still.
Okay, just do it.
So your arms and legs are broken.
Very.
You can walk very impressively for somebody with broken legs.
Did we just remove the person from her shoulder and be like, you?
Oh yeah.
Caster's keeping an eye on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so Caster and Cass are sitting at the grave with this person just
Just conked out next to him.
Just conked out. I was thinking like Drolish.
No, I've made a correction. I had misunderstood what Matthew meant by followed. I thought that was a reference to my seeming inability to pay fucking attention.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Caster is still in the tower.
Okay, then yeah, she would have dropped the body and be like,
Watch this.
make sure she stays asleep.
So is Cass alone,
So,
or should
Cass
anyway,
is alone.
Cass
with
is
the
alone.
wizard at the grave.
So, yeah.
Well, that's
so,
why she'd be alone.
So yeah, she
because
tries to
she
hold
fucked
still
up with-
and just
it shouldn't hurt at all.
just do it.
It will. We haven't perfected it.
They pull out an amount of like these thick, heavy, sticky, gelatinous. They're these jugs basically of this resiny substance.
They got goop.
Yeah.
Oh, it's UPB, but organics.
Please remove the clothing on the affected areas.
All right. And then she kind of she takes off some of the plating along her leg, the part that matters, and she starts taking off her gloves.
Excellent. Please don't wipe this off. It takes time to absorb. And then they just like brush over your skin with this heavy resin. It feels like honey or like wax that you'd use for like removing hair. And after about a minute or two, it starts to get kind of hard. And they're like, if it starts to crust, just let it fall off. Let the moisture absorb into your skin. You should probably be fine in the next couple of hours.
Okay, that's much better. Thank you for the compliment. Also, I've dealt with worse than this before.
That is frightening.
That truly,
Oh,
that is frightening.
how so?
Normal people don't walk
Normal people
on
don't.
broken legs.
It was the one leg. Just the one. The two arms, though. There was two arms. Just one.
To be
Normal
also
people-
fair, she was swinging that big ass fucking axe with those
Also
arms.
carrying a person with broken arms.
Also carrying a whole ass person.
Normal people also, if I might add, normally do not stay conscious with several broken limbs.
No, they do not.
You have an impressive tolerance for your body's shock.
People are plants.
Normal people also.
Anyway,
We're
we're
not
just
as bad,
looks.
too.
Fucking.
Is Pyra in the middle of doing anything?
I can't think of anything in particular that I need to be doing at the moment. Where did everyone else go again?
Cass is at the grave with Evelyn and Vixia.
You're at the grave. You're copying spells, you said.
Yeah, I while we're here, Cora's like, hey, I my own understanding of spellcraft is very, it's got some holes, and please.
That's
You're
fair.
undergoing medical treatment.
Before that,
I'm
I'll-
watching The Prisoner, and I'm gonna see if there are any treatises on the divine.
Yeah, and before all that, Drolish will look towards the, I assume nurse.
I mean, probably.
Fair.
Witch doctor.
And just
Witches.
Witches! Witches! Honestly, I'm on the verge of being unconscious. I'm just hanging on the best I can.
Whoa! Holy shit.
Bishop?
Oh.
Fucking schmoovin' lad.
So-
I guess if there's an
Yeah.
equivalent of a waiting room, Pyra would be there.
It's playing waiting room music. Cool. So Pyra is in a completely white room, which is removed from the entire universe of the game, and it's playing like Muzak.
It's like the fucking train
It's
station
play-
from the third
No,
Matrix movie.
It's playing human music.
Human music.
Human music.
No, here's the music that it's playing. Hang on. I've got it for everyone
70s
right here.
elevator music.
Yeah, here we go. This is the music that's playing.
Is that elevator stuck's music?
Door's stuck. I mean, what could I be doing really?
So moving on from Pyra, we have Castor in the middle of looking for specific religious texts, which the city does have a large number of, and you are looking for magic. In the time that you have, as long
About
as
2
you,
hours. Go on. Actually, I'm sorry.
I
interrupted.
will
Please
let
go
you
on.
copy down 5 spells. Okay. Of any spell level you know, at the cost of 1,000 gold a pop.
How much money we got, guys?
We have a full 25k we haven't spent anything on.
Mm-hmm.
That's back home, though.
It's in our bag.
It's in our bag.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
I'm holding.
We used one stone to procure a shit ton of
Astros.
blasting powder. Then we had
Sounds
the
fun.
other stone, like, make into
Is it
gold.
Drolish?
Or no, didn't we use the first stone for gold and blasting powder?
We didn't
We
make
didn't
blasting
even
powder.
make the plastic powder.
Oh.
No,
We were
it,
going
it
to,
was
it
it was
didn't
gold and Resurrecting Jackal was the first one.
Yeah, gold and resurrecting jackal was the first one, and then we have another unredeemed one. And then a third one in Zevran's sword now.
The
Yeah.
Philosopher's Stone can produce up to 25,000 gold pieces worth of goods, at which point the stone becomes almost magically inert. The stone can then be shattered for a single use of resurrection.
We're not breaking Zevran's sword.
We good?
Me go.
That's not happening.
Well,
Is the
as,
philosopher's
I
stone-
believe Cass is still holding it because you never took it back.
Is the philosopher's stone in it? We good. Can you check?
Cora just
Oh.
fucking carrying around 3 swords. Because one has her crest, the other is Cass, and the other was her brother's.
I imagine Cora has like
By the way,
the kind of double sheath thing going on.
also Tyler, out of character knowledge, once we get back to Sunstone, if we do, Drolish wants to teach her in swordplay.
Okay. I don't know
So,
that
like-
that'll have any mechanical benefit, but it'll be a
It's-
fun
it's-
anime
it's-
episode.
It's flavor.
So,
man.
like, I forget the exact name of it, but the katana set, where it's the katana, the wakizashi, and the
Daisho.
kanto, daisho set. Cora just has a daisho set that is all swords.
all rapiers.
I have to use
A daisho set of rapiers.
I mean, she has her.
It's a, it's
no,
a male.
I mean, one is a rapier, one is an S-stock, the other is Cass.
No, I'm saying like there's a sword breaker, a rapier, and then an S stock. Just on a fucking display.
Like,
I
how
can
Cora's
see that.
belt situation.
Hey, I have to use the restroom real quick, but one last thing that happens while you're in the middle of copying spells. You're both in this giant library.
Yeah.
You're probably half a football fields away from each other. The library has lights that shine in, but like there's just infinite blackness outside the windows. Like the light that shines in is from distant stars. Wherever the inside of this tower is not at all
Sure as shit ain't the material plane.
Right, we're
I mean,
not on
it's-
Ava anymore, boys.
It's space.
All right, Toto. We ain't in fucking Kansas anymore.
But you searching through the religious section come across a book where a single ray of sunlight, of starlight, comes through and shines upon it. And it is a book that is a vague documentation of the First War, the war between the angels and devils, and where Asmodeus and Safe died. It has a lot of things which you know now to be inaccurate, namely which gods lived and which gods did not. But what it does have, and what you do notice about it, is it looks like it has been on this shelf for a very long time. It's covered in a considerable layer of dust, and in it, as you open it up, the binding breaks and a couple of pages fall out. They are a map. If you can roll a geography roll for me, even if you don't have it trained.
17.
You know this to be a map of the world, but it has a continent on it that you know not to be on any other map in the world.
Cora.
Cora is half a football field away.
Cora?
As you say Cora, somebody next to you is like,
We're in the library, asshole.
Eat a fucking apple.
People are trying to read. Dickhead. You stone on me.
Here, this'll shut you up. Hands you an apple.
Fuck you.
And that makes an auto
I
as he folds it.
have to use the restroom.
Okay, no problem.
I'm sorry. I just love that the most aggro people we meet are the fucking
The library
are the
shushers.
librarians.
I like to picture there's like a dramatic, like as it's zooming in on the continent that doesn't exist, and Caster's just like, it cuts to Pyra in the waiting room, just like reading a magazine that like isn't in this time period. It's like People magazine.
It's a modern copy of Vogue.
Us.
By the way, do you have her? You just kind of dragged her into the library?
Yeah, she's just kind of slumped on a
Like
shelf.
a person with you. There's an unconscious person with you in the library.
I mean, she's quiet, so nobody's put up fuss.
Shit, we
Anytime she starts groaning, Caster fucking decks her again.
Well, I mean,
I assume that you left her with Cora. I've bound her hands, by the way, and her legs. Though that one.
well, I mean, one's broken, so it's
Here
not
I
like
was
she's going
imagining
anywhere.
Caster was
Yeah.
just going about the library, just fucking dragging her by her collar.
I mean,
What are we gonna do with her, by the way?
that is Drollish's prisoner.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
Drollish's. I ain't fucking touching it.
I think what gets done with it is determined by the plork.
It. I mean,
Hi
it
there,
is-
Robin.
I mean, she's a person.
It's a prisoner. Prisoner is a noun. Prisoner is a noun.
Not a proper noun at that.
Yeah.
A singular noun.
She probably has a proper noun for a name, but until we bother to learn it, which we probably won't,
We will.
she is a prisoner.
No, we will.
She is prisoner.
She is prisoner.
Drollish has ideas.
Probably.
Drollish has a lot
I
of
don't
ideas.
like it when Drollish has ideas, particularly when she has a lot of them.
You
don't
don't
like
like
it
it
when
when Drollich has
Caster
ideas.
does not like when Drollish has ideas.
Why not?
They end poorly for the other person.
What makes you say what makes you say that?
Gee, I don't know. Maybe let's ask all the dead bandits.
Gee, I don't know. Maybe let's
Let's ask the smoke cloud coming off of that fucking bandit caravan.
Bandit caravan.
Let's ask.
Excuse me,
Cass's
caravan? More like
irreparably
fucking
shattered
village.
legs.
What?
Oh yeah,
Let's ask Cass's irreparably shattered legs from when you forced metal into them.
Well, I mean,
I mean, I needed them to walk.
The metal had nothing to do with her legs. Her legs were already gone.
Well, the bottom half of her legs were. There's still like bone there from
yeah.
the remnants of the
I mean,
legs
that's-
that she forced metal into.
That's semantics. Really.
hey,
You basically just fucking screwed them on.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
not Gizmo, that's Bishop.
Well, the description that I got was that they were put on and then they were hammered on.
Oh
from
yeah,
the
they
sides.
were fucking. She
Yeah.
golfed them with a sledgehammer until they stayed.
Well, no. What I'm
What?
saying is there was a pin that went through the side of my
Yes.
of the leg.
Okay, what
close
it
to
is.
the knee.
Oh, so basically
Okay,
I
listen.
can just go
Listen.
and your leg would fall
Listen,
off.
Essentially,
there is
There is a metal leg here. There are 3 segments. Oh, well, 4 segments. They go here, and they go here, here, and here. They are pinned, but the end of them have kind of like a. Oh, I don't want to say barb, because it's not a barb. That would fuck you up. But like, there's like a little mechanism within those needles that keep people from just going. Plus, they were hammered in by Drollisher. They're like flat.
Yeah.
You know how I know
what
you
I-
guys are destined to be like my best friends?
What?
Because you all know the names of all my cats and care about them and understand why my cats are characterized the way that they are.
Yes.
And I just take a lot of pleasure in knowing that you guys know my animals.
Did you hear me go Gizmo? Oh, that's not Gizmo. That's Bishop.
Yes.
Where are all?
Haley, make a perception roll.
Oh. In the meanwhile, I've got to pee. I found the text I was looking for.
Okay.
Oh, this is. That's gonna be 25.
Okay. Noted.
I'm terrified.
I'm pulling this up to look something up.
Okay.
But you go about your spell searching. What you do find amongst the books and the spell scrolls that you're studying is you find a book on spell invention. It is entirely too long for you to absorb right now.
I know. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Cora casts Skim.
What does Skim do?
Skim lets me read books at like extremely quickly.
How fast is extremely quickly? Because it matters.
The fastest.
You know the technical manual
The
that
fastest.
SpongeBob gets handed to him by his grandmother? That's basically this book.
God.
Oh.
You know the Aragon books you saw whenever you were like in kindergarten? You thought those were the biggest books ever.
Bigger.
But bigger.
That, but
So
all
the
all of them stacked
Encyclopedia
vertically.
Britannica as a book.
It's all of the
One
Aragon books
book.
on top
Alright,
of
guys.
one another.
One book.
Okay, do we need to take that away from you?
Yes.
Got him.
There you go.
Siri.
Matt's feeling fucking
I
evil
had
Morty theme
imagined
right now.
what you had done with Cass's legs. You know those action figures where like every single joint is
Quarter
three
of the
different
time,
types
by the
of
way.
posable and you can pull out the legs?
Still, it's going to be like a
That.
6-hour
Not
read.
that.
Just that. You just kind of
She
Just kinda-
Cora
That'd be funny.
right on and just
like flags down one
That
of
would
the
be funny.
right up the
Like
bone.
one of
She
the
kinda
Hey guys,
walks
can
away.
we
Yeah.
focus on what we're doing?
Cora kind of like flags down one of the library staff and like, can I check this out?
Do you have a library card?
Having fun isn't hard when you have a library card. No.
What?
They stay here.
No one ever takes these books out of the library.
If you have a research need or are given a particular exception by somebody who has the authority to take it, then yes, but otherwise, no, people don't take the reference material.
It is definitely a research need.
Yes, but I don't know you.
Fucking
Well, we've reached the heart of the problem, then, haven't we?
Outsider Drow finds book on creating spells and is like, hey, can I get out of here with this?
I'm just looking to skedaddle with a very powerful magical resource.
I know I'm a Drow. I know you guys don't like me, but
I mean, there are people in the city who look rather a lot like Cora.
Yeah.
The problem is I don't know you. Well, I like long walks on the beach.
I intend to be back if I could. I could give you something valuable of mine.
I
like
don't
Wan
think you
Chitong's
understand
library.
how a library works.
I was under the impression that libraries you could check books out of.
Not the reference material, which this is.
Right.
And again,
This is not a bartering system where you then get to try and exchange from me materials from my job.
What you should have done
You
instead
really-
of all this.
You shouldn't fuck with the librarian,
What
as
you
we've
should have
already
done
stated.
instead of this entire exchange was just copy the book into your notes.
It's a 6. It takes a long time.
Copy the book.
It is a very large book. It could not be copied easily.
Okay, then. My apologies. I'm going to still cast Skim, and I'm going to absorb as much of it as possible in the time we have.
Sure.
In Cass's point of view, does anyone else come by her while she's at the grave, or no?
I mean, people walk around at a graveyard
Yeah.
where there's hundreds of stones, but nobody like.
No one like Azarandius or Zinhongwei or any of the 9.
Nope. But after sitting, how long do you sit there?
I've been sitting here this whole time.
So you sit there about an hour, and a man puts his hand on your shoulder. Great watchmaker, better gun maker.
Right, indeed. And she stands up to turn to look at this man.
He's a relatively unassuming man, stands just shy of 6 feet tall. He's a human, male, Caucasian, unremarkable in most other respects. Brown hair, brown eyes.
Okay.
Dude McJohnson.
His name is Matt.
He looks middle-aged.
He farts.
His name is Jeff Desk.
He will shit.
He is thin.
A wispy fellow.
Yes, I'm, as you can probably tell, I'm not from around here,
Yeah,
but I've heard of this person and her protege.
I know you're not from around here. You aren't friends. She was very good at what she did.
Right.
Probably the best. And she still found her way in the ground. Such is the way of things, no.
Unfortunately.
We will all find our way to the dirt, the immaterium, what lies beyond this mortal realm.
Such is life.
Such is.
It happens. I don't believe I caught your name.
My name is Ted.
Ted Desk.
Ted Desk.
My name is Ted
They
Chalk.
call me.
I'm Ted Floor.
But no, he says his name is Ted.
Cassandra, and she puts out the hand.
He shakes your hand.
Very firm shake.
It's interesting that you seem to have an understanding of the natural order of things.
I know it too well. I lived alone for
Birds
most of
eat
my life.
hares.
He just interrupts her.
Birds eat hares, bears eat salmon.
Foxes get eaten by the wolves, and the world goes round, right? And then the wolves and the bears and the steers are all hunted either for sport or food by the bipedal sort.
Indeed. And what remains is eaten by the worms. Or any other scavenger.
It's so very interesting, is all, Cassandra,
Indeed.
that you think you're at the top of the food chain. And he walks away.
Get fucked.
Wow. Cassandra just said, "What an asshole."
Wow, fucking dick.
Okay. So,
Just, well.
she puts her mask on. And, she looks at him.
So, as you put your mask on, there's a brief period of time where like it syncs up with this whole suit, and it kind of has to synchronize, where it's black, and then when the plate like shines on to have a display, he is gone.
I don't like him.
Okay.
I don't like him.
I better.
Him, I don't.
Well, in that case, I better get to drawing. And she sketches up the best that she can remember what he looks like.
He is Dude McMahon.
She's Dude McMahon.
He is like Guy McAverage.
And she like does. But
Joe Blow.
can I like? I mean, I know he's like Joe Blow, but I want to get as close to Joe Blow as I
Sure,
can,
go
and
ahead.
not be like John Butt.
Can you make a sleight of hand roll?
Sleight of hand.
Unless you have like craft draw.
No, I don't have craft draw.
Craft art.
But I do have sleight of hand. I
What
have
kind
very
of
good
art?
sleight of hand too.
Fucking craft art.
30.
You
why is this-
produce
why
a
is this
rendition of him, which, if another person saw, would be
Oh, I
able
think I
to
found Gizmo.
reasonably able to identify him.
That's all she needs, and she puts in the pocket. And
It's back.
Jojo saw a cat that looked, or Gizmo saw a cat that looked somewhat like
she
him.
decides to, instead of doing nothing and just sitting at this grave, she decides to walk around and see if she can ask about anyone who would own any of her things. Any of Emma Lenadrix's things.
A lot of her weapons are collector's pieces at this point, but some of them are held by high-ranking officials in the Arkbridge military.
Okay. I mean, it's probably not possible, but she wants to see if she can meet up with any of these people in any way, shape, or form.
Make
Knowledge
have-
local, maybe?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know the area, but
It's. I'm trying to figure out how to make you do this.
If it were Starfinder, I'd say culture. I don't know what the culture equivalent would be here.
culture is just a mishmash of like a lot of shit.
It really is. Perception doesn't seem right.
So, you come to a museum of like great deceased peoples of Arkbridge. It's not closed; it's open admission. There's no money here. And as you walk through it, you see all of these great works of artists who have passed away, and so on and so forth. And then there is an entire exhibit, just completely dedicated to machinists, people like herself. And in there is an entire segment with like 2 or 3 dozen examples of her work and incomplete weapons and so on. And on the major display for this whole exhibit is a gun in the middle of like being taken apart. And you can tell at first glance like it was never finished. Like it has not been completed and then taken apart for display. It was in the middle of being built and then put on display because it was never finished.
Okay.
Cassandra will remember that.
What she does, she draws down like all the stuff that she can see of this gun, and all the parts, how it all fits together. Because I imagine there's also like a diagram of how it would have put.
Yeah,
together.
there are a number of schematics and stuff, but there's stuff where like on the sides in like as footnotes basically as the explanations for the exhibit. It's like people don't know how to decipher her notes. We don't know what these materials are that she references, like just that kind of thing. And then at the heart, like there's notes that go along with it, like they've been identified to be part of the same project. It references some kind of viscous fluid, which is apparently a core component of this thing's construction, but it's not immediately obvious how or where. And it's the last entry in her journal. It's like, I need to get this thing or I can't continue building my gun. In terms of what the gun looks like, it is a incredibly long-barreled rifle, but it has no space for anything like ammunition.
So like there's no chamber or anything to actually load the.
There's a
bullets
long
in.
barrel, but there's no like the receiver doesn't load anything that you can see.
Okay.
There's a glass tank which would be attached to the side of the gun, and it feeds into the receiver, but what it shot is good a guess as any. It looks like some kind of fluid thrower.
Interesting.
but it's a lot. It's a lot more impressive than some kind of Flammenwerfer.
Flammenwerfer.
We've got a Nebelwerfer. What does it do? It werfs Nebels.
Duh. Forehead.
God, idiot.
Okay. The cast like jots all this down and says, I need to get in contact with Landon. Oh, okay. Well, let's see if I can find any of them. And she like wants to go around and see if she can find any of the 9.
Does anyone have anything else they'd like to do in the city?
I mean, I'm just copying spells. I say to Galahad at one point, well, she's just reading as fast as she can. Hey, Galahad.
Yes.
You know, when this is all over, how's about I teach you magic?
Dragons are inherently magical beings.
I know, but you could always, we all always could stand to learn more. It could save your life one day. It saved mine.
It has also put you in most precarious situations.
True. But I would rather, but if I had an option of doing what I'm doing right now, or living out a normal life, either on a boat outside of the Empire, or even back home with my family, I think I'd still choose this.
I don't know. We're busy right now. You are very busy.
Well, think on it. I would very much like to teach you. I think that you are far more that you are quite deserving of it.
Maybe.
That's about it, really. That's all she had to say. She just goes back to reading.
So, if nobody else has anything they would like to do, Cass, you do eventually find one of the 9. You end up talking to Azurandius again.
Hello, Azurandius.
Yes, hello!
You are well liked and you have high connections, yes?
I had many connections. I knew almost everybody in the city by name at one point, until things got too hard for me to be able to do that.
Is there any way you can get me in contact with anyone that owned Amelin Adrixia's weapons?
Not in the immediate, but I own a few.
You own a few?
What do you need of them?
Well, for one, I'd like to study them, but another, I have a theory, a hypothesis that I'd like to test out.
What is your hypothesis? I'd hate to lose one of the kinds.
Have your friend back.
I don't follow.
And she pulls out a Philosopher's Stone. Her Philosopher's Stone.
Look at.
Sure. Are you sure? We don't get many second chances.
Well, we don't know if she's a drow.
We resurrected a drow with a Philosopher's Stone.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Amelin being a drow.
Oh, no.
We meant Jackal.
Yes.
Jackal could be dead right now.
Yep.
And we have another Philosopher's Stone.
Have to break Zevlin's sword for that one.
What's more valuable, Jackal or his sword? Let's be honest.
We'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
Right. And she knows how to make more. And she knows how, specifically, to make more apples.
That's true. Feed corpses to tree.
We don't know that.
Feed souls to tree.
That too.
Well, if you're willing to do this, that would be a great service that you would have done to us. You would have brought us back one of our brightest.
Any way to help you, and by extension me.
Enlightened self-interest. I understand.
Yes, I'm not going to say that what I'm doing is entirely noble, and I wish to see Amelin walk among you again purely for your own benefit, but it would certainly be a proponent in me doing this. But I would like to hear from one of the masters herself on how to forge firearms.
To the top of the tower.
Something did occur to me that Fyra could be doing while she's here. There's two particular texts that she'd be looking for, like, anything about, or, like, two particular subjects that she'd be looking for anything about in text.
Blow shit up and burn shit good.
One, any documentation of the, like, history of Ishianor, the Afridi, and more information on that devil that had fallen in love with an angel and turned against Asmodeus.
I don't remember his name.
I don't think you gave it to us. But it would more be just the subject of, like, devils who had turned in
It would be a great betrayal kind of subject kind of thing.
Yes.
That's like looking for all the great betrayals in the known.
Oh,
All
wait,
the
I
devils that weren't total
I do
bastards.
remember his name. Nethys.
Was it Nethys?
Yes.
Anything on Nethys. Or anything on Ishianor.
Or his archives.
I'm gonna message that to you just a minute.
Okay. So before we do that, you go up to the tower with Azurandius. You are sitting there in the library reading over this map, looking things over there, Caster, and you hear Chuko's voice again.
Get it out of my brain.
It's right there. What are you doing? Right in front of you. All the answers you ever needed.
Take another look at the map.
There is on it a continent which, as previously stated, doesn't exist and is a large part of every major religion in the world. Like, this continent has to exist because all of the major texts suggest that the war took place there. That the rest of the world sprung out from the battlefield of the gods. It is a flat and tortured plain.
Where is it in relative to the rest of the human kingdoms?
So, if you were to leave Aeva, the continent you're on, it is a far ways north, but the map doesn't seem to give a particularly accurate projection of where it would be, kind of like how Greenland and Antarctica are, like, super stretched because where they are on a map. They're not actually, like, that colossal, but it's like that. But if it was there, anyone who has sailed the seas at all would have found it by now. The myth goes that it's surrounded by a great storm. That no mortal is ever meant to walk there.
We're not just any mortals, apparently.
I'm gonna take that map.
You're gonna steal the map?
On the map.
I'm going to get some parchment and make a copy of the map.
Alright.
Like, I'm gonna lay it down and trace it.
No problem.
I will keep
Caster's
my
got
copy.
the right idea. Copy.
I will keep my copy
It's a big fucking
and place the map back in the book when I am done.
Okay. You have that map on you. Now, Drolish, do you eventually return to the tower?
Yes.
Okay, your prisoner basically says, like, hey, I will do literally anything that you ask me to in the next, like, 15 minutes if it means that I can stay a prisoner here rather than go with you.
Why would you want that?
Because I feel like I'm less inclined to be beaten to death here than out there, either by you or if my military were to find me again.
I understand. No.
Trollish, I hate to put this. I hate to, question you. Cora says she's reading as quickly as she fucking can.
I'm just a machine commander, man. I don't know.
How did you leave
anymore.
the library?
I'm not. I'm still in the library. The prisoner's with me.
The prisoner was with... I guess the prisoner just got left.
No, the prisoner was with Castor, and then because Castor went off to go looking, he left it with me.
Yeah.
Rather, he left her with me.
It's a
We could say that
It's easier if you don't think. of
Drolish
things.
asked where they went, and because she didn't see, because she asked them to watch her, so she was led.
So, Cora, the prisoner has been awake for a decent while. As you stand up to respond to Drolish, you recognize that your pockets are a bit lighter.
Do I really need to say much of anything?
What do you think you're missing?
Well, I'm gonna put my hands in my pockets, and I'm gonna look for that mechanical heart, and I'm also gonna look for the sand shifter.
The sand shifter is there, the heart is not.
Oh,
Anything
shit.
else missing? You know what's in your pockets.
So
Just feel
and-
around.
That's the only thing that is gone.
Ah, well.
All right, and okay, so
Do I really need to say much of anything? Really, it's astounding that I managed to bind your hands and you still picked my pockets.
What are you talking about? I have 2 broken legs and my hands are tied up. I'm in a library, for fuck's sake. It's dead silent here. How would I have picked your pockets?
They peer in from
Insight.
literally every angle.
Insight
Cora.
check.
Any sense motive?
Yeah, that.
19 on die.
Cora. No one is that good.
We actually managed to hold on to this heart for approximately 30 minutes.
Good job, guys.
Congrats.
God damn it.
Do you not have sense motive trained?
No, I do. I have
Oh.
insight.
I thought you like.
Sense motive.
You don't need sense motive trained.
It's 29.
I mean, as far as you can tell, they're honest with you.
Anyway, Cora, you were saying?
We might have a bigger problem on our hands.
Look, I just want to stay here. I just don't want to, like, die.
That poor bitch is gonna kill me.
Look, I get it. Really, I do.
I am sat here stuck between 2 holes of what I am halves of, debating about my personhood and what rights I have. I just want to point out how miserable I am right now.
I get that.
I'm sure you do, and so does the drow half of me.
In any case, we're going into potentially enemy territory. We have no, and what more information could she give you?
I suppose that's true.
What
Caster's in the same room, right?
Caster
Just
is
away.
on his way over, yes.
all of us
Okay.
except Cass are in the library technically.
Caster.
Caster finishes walking up so he doesn't get yelled at first. Yes?
Upon consideration and Cora's suggestion, I will be generous if you answer my questions honestly and truthfully.
Praise be to the Empress. What questions do you have?
A few. And then she kind of picks her up by like her armor and sits her down in a chair.
That looks like it could be on the verge of getting infected. Let me do something about that.
One of the reasons
I'm
why I
gonna
called
help
you
fix
over.
her legs.
Okay.
At least to the point that they don't get infected and she dies from like sepsis or something.
Sure.
Now, if you answer my questions honestly, I won't
Answer
take-
me.
I
That's
won't take you
questions
with me.
3.
I won't take you with me, and you'll be left. Now, one question that I wish an answer for. Do you know where
Has the day reset?
the expeditionary force
No,
has...
we haven't rested.
Do you know where the force that you are a part of is marching towards?
Arc Bridge.
Drolish, she's just a. There are tons of half orcs. Even if she was familiar with the person you were seeking, they were deployed here.
If you're talking about your daughter, you might want to be a bit more direct.
You could have, maybe kept that on the down low.
No, she's well aware.
I say again, I don't know where military leadership is. I take orders. There are people in bigger tanks than me that yell at me about what I need to be doing. There are field commanders who walk around ponces in their fucking plate armor telling me what to do on the front lines with my people getting shot up in giant steel tin cans. I don't know anything.
To be fair, in a lot of modern warfare, the peons don't get told much at all in case they get captured, specifically in situations like this.
All I know is my orders were to take the city. We were being led by... our chain of command led up to, like, Sub-General Zevran, and then after that, I don't know. I assume he takes orders from the Empress? Maybe. I know there were a couple of other people who were part of this as, like, a joint force. There was a specialist team, or group, battalion, I don't know. They were here briefly, and they were part of the, like, you know, the first half orcs that were permitted into the Drow military. But beyond that, like, you know, nothing.
We should ask them about the tunnel we're about to take and see if they know anything.
That's kind of what I was gonna ask next.
Good.
Cora, hand me the map. She takes the map. She opens it. We're looking for a friend. Inside a tunnel that leads from here to the scar.
Well, all of mine are dead.
I'm sorry. I out of character, I didn't catch that.
All of my friends are dead. So I'm just delighted to help you find one. Who is dead, that is.
Of course.
You don't know much about you don't know much about interrogation, do you?
Me?
No.
Cora, I will snap your jaw
We gotta get some
if you
good.
question me again.
We gotta get some good cutback.
Now, are these tunnels guarded?
I don't know what the hell you're talking about!
I suppose I believe I'm not used to these bigger
Drolish
forces.
stands up and Caster looks up and looks Drolish in the eye. Do you really think they would fucking tell a peon like this information like that? Seriously.
I suppose I'm not used to larger forces, it seems. Fine. You're free to go.
This whole interrogation happened in a library.
Empress be praised.
She slams to them.
Here, I'll
To
help
like
you
a
up.
prison.
Just help her up.
We need to get you to a medical ward first. That's going to get infected.
I'll take a
Get you help
prison
soon.
where there are walls.
I'll take safety over health.
Right, let's
By the way,
find someone.
out of character, I hope I was like, I'm trying to RP her having like
Extreme anger issues?
blinded by anger at this
Yeah,
point.
I gathered.
Okay, she is blinded really bad.
I need my insulin, and I'm big hungo, but I don't know for what. Can you make me one of those 5-minute noodles?
There's
Sure.
no insulin over here.
That's fine. It's on my desk.
Hey, houseless. Do settle in. Apparently you're going to be here for a while.
Great.
Ah, shit.
Sorry about your friends.
Beats being dead. Also, fuck you.
And as she's being taken away, Cora just...
Well, that's no way to be.
So,
I should have just killed her and sent her on her way.
So, Cora gets 5 new spells at the expense of 5,000 gold pieces. Kyra's been hanging around listening to music.
No, I
Oh,
went-
yeah, that's right. You went to go
Yep.
look for some stuff. Okay, so you don't find almost anything on your society. You find a couple of things on Ifrit, but nothing about your...
It's just like specific Ifrits of note, not the society or the place.
Here's
Right.
biology of an Ifrit.
Drolish, you got your interrogation out of the way, as well as being healed. Caster, you found the book and the map and the other stuff.
Anything on Nethys?
I found a map of the Holy Continent. that didn't exist.
So, Nethys is a significant religious figure. I need you to roll a knowledge religion check.
Oh boy, do I have that? Yeah. It'll be an 18.
Nethys is seen as a saint of a number of gods, but to no religion is he properly canonized. he is known as the Saint of Redemption, and very occasionally the Star-Crossed Saint. As you know, he fell in love with a angel of Safe and betrayed Asmodeus and turned to the light side. Most of the stuff you find on him suggests that he was an incredible warrior who did terrible, twisted things, but when he was shown, like, the extent of his cruelty and fell in love with this angel, he became infatuated and did anything he could to please her. She used this to turn him into a better person, and she eventually fell in love with the person he became over the thousands of years that the Blood War took place. They eloped. He did all sorts of, like, titanically, like, mythically important things, like moving mountains with mustard seeds type shit. And then the angel died in the war, and he was so stricken with rage and grief that he died shortly thereafter. He created the hole in Asmodeus's armor that Safe would later exploit. So the legend goes.
The Saint of Redemption.
Miserable sod. Half the reason I'm dead.
Ted?
No, it's Asmodeus.
Ted just shows up to goof on the party.
Hey, name's Ted. I hate all of you, by the way.
Ted sits down at a restaurant with a sack.
A restaurant?
A restaurant.
I would like to go to a restaurant. I believe they're called maid cafes.
Yes. I was
They're
going to
called
say,
maid
we could go to Japan to a maid cafe.
Hooters.
Hooters?
Hooters is a restaurant.
Hooters, Wing House. Go to a restaurant.
I
Get
will
some
not.
nice chicken
I will
wings.
not be going to this restaurant. There will be no restaurant attendance.
They got good wings.
There will be no restaurant attendance.
I go for the wings.
You don't
I
like
will-
booby?
I will DoorDash wings.
You don't like booby?
I'm not going to a restaurant.
Who doesn't like booby?
I'm not going to a restaurant.
I like breast bees.
Breast bees?
Breast bees.
What? Matt. Matt. What the mega fuck are you talking about?
Talking about boobs and breasts.
All
like
right,
the same
moving on
word.
from
Moving
boobies.
on.
Breast bees.
Moving on from boobies.
And all of their glory.
In spite of their critical import.
Delete this.
No.
Delete this.
No.
Delete.
No. I'm here to stay.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's put that.
Asmodeus speaks to you from the rune blade.
How terribly unfortunate.
You sound so enthused and so terribly empathetic to my plight.
Well, pardon me. I need to put this down too. I will go full aim with that gun.
You're horrible. I hate you.
I guess I'm doing my job then.
Maybe so. What are you looking through this for anyway? You don't trust me to give you an accurate account of what happened.
Why would I trust you to do that?
You never asked.
No,
Surely
that's a point.
a first-hand account is more reliable than a second or third-hand retelling of the tale.
So tell me then, how did things go down on your side? What's your version of this story?
By my
Enlighten
side,
me.
do you mean the entirety of demon and devil kind, or specifically me? Because demons and devils seem to be doing just fine these days, as far as I can tell. There's quite a few of them here, in wherever and whenever I am. They beckon to me. I am their rightful master. But if you're asking how things went down for me, I died. He put a bloody great hole in my armor. And then the sun came down on me.
So it's true then, what the texts claim.
More or less. What the texts leave out, for coercive purposes, is that With all the strength and all the fury of the star in the sky, Safe could not win that battle and walk home. They kept that to themselves. And those historians who had such accurate accounts of everything else are now long gone. Their permanent coercion leaving a mark on this world. The boy you carry with you is a follower. There were others who were followers there when you found me. I assume that her church lives on very well. Such a shame to worship a corpse. At least devil worshippers know what they're getting. They're being lied to, but at least it's something tangible.
She lives on, and then
That's a paltry concession.
she lives on, and my compatriot quite literally. He has her axe.
But that is not her soul. She is gone. And I am here. You have the sword, which bears me in the literal sense. I am one shattered piece of steel away from manifesting physically once again. Safe is in no such condition. She is dead. I am just momentarily out of action. Temporarily deceased. Inconveniently incorporeal. That's what we're going with.
Say what you will. The more information I have on Nethys and on the demons as a whole, the better. And the less anywhere knows about a free society, the better. She sticks the tome back on the shelf.
I really hope this doesn't turn into a prophecy of an Ragnarok fucking thing ass.
What do you mean?
This bitch gonna break free and ruin existence.
I mean,
You know,
I got a sword, a bayonet, and a dagger that says that shit ain't happening.
Not particularly happy about how she said, the less everyone knows about the Efreet Society, the better either.
but you weren't present for that.
I wasn't.
devils and demons are as we are and are where we are. We have never moved, and we have been called upon when asked at the right times by the right people. I'm sure you could find a number of tomes in this great arcane library on communication, summoning, and study of our kind. Careful now, if you know.
The less of you I have to communicate with, the better.
Ah, but you are reading, and you're thinking, and you're asking questions. Careful now that
Asking
those...
questions is a scholarly interest.
Those who play with the devil's toys will be brought by degrees to wield his sword.
You wish.
You do, quite literally.
Now everyone knows how my life is.
He hasn't said shit to me.
I don't
It
have.
hasn't said shit to cats.
I don't have a rune blade, so I mean.
You don't?
No.
Oh right.
No,
you
the
can
only people who
grab
had
the
rune
axe.
blades were us.
Yeah.
She couldn't use anything other than the axe, and you refused.
So-
Yeah, I used the axe of my god.
I use the sword of cross.
We return.
One last question.
Okay. Is it here?
And then, yes, it is here. And then we will be on our way.
Spells that I picked up, by the way.
Yes. You actually picked up spells. I was in a waiting room for some time. Because pages of spell knowledge are way more of a resource than just being able to copy a spell.
I picked up Slow, Resilient Sphere, Icy Prison,
slow.
Wall of Force, and Permanency.
I'd like to ask, is there any way at all that Cass could listen in on that conversation because of her shard of the sword that stabbed Asmodeus?
You don't know that it's happening.
Okay.
But we go back to the top of the tower. You're in a great grand chamber, which you presume to be Asmodeus's home.
Or Azarandius.
Yes, Azarandius, not Asmodeus.
What are too many asses?
It's Azathoth. So
Every single person whose name starts with Az is actually just an aspect of Azathoth.
That'd be awesome.
It's a
If
grand
I had planned
it's a
that, that would have been great, but that is not what happened.
It's a
Dang.
grand conspiracy. He's just entertaining himself before he devours.
Yeah, because some of the Az's have helped us and some have been actively against us, but all of it is Azathoth just playing chess with himself.
You're giving the
With
DM too
himself.
many nasty ideas.
I mean, when you're bored, you're bored.
I mean, you gotta admit that'd be fun as hell to play.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I know it is. Firsthand.
Amy will remember that.
The Starfinder party will remember that.
Moving on, Jace will remember that.
Where did Haley go?
Somewhere.
Fucking
I'm
noodle.
feeding you your noodles.
Oh, I got nudes
Noodle.
inbound.
You do not have nudes inbound, you have noodles inbound.
They're still nudes, just without
Those
the
are
holes.
vastly different than nudes.
N-O-O-D-S, nudes.
People still use NOODS for nudes.
Yeah, but I'm not a fucking 12-year-old asking a 15-year-old upperclassman for titty pics. I'm asking my wife to bring me food.
Send nudes, please. X3.
X3
you
equals
al-
3.
You also, of course, have to replace the
UWU.
O's with zeros.
Anywho.
We're in Azurandius's room. You have a Philosopher's Stone, and with you, you have one of the guns.
You are about to pull the trigger on a resurrection.
I say,
Literally.
I say again, are you sure about this? We don't get many second chances.
I cannot stress enough how few second chances we get.
Like this.
Do I?
Let me like this.
Bitch.
It's a very, very strong possibility that I do this.
I would be forever in your debt.
Let me like this.
She has died, yes, as we all know. Does that mean her being, her soul is tied to Archridge anymore?
I don't know where her soul goes. I'm not a religious scholar.
The reason I mean, because earlier you mentioned that if you all leave Archridge for a period of time, you eventually begin to rot and fade.
That just has to do with our physical bodies being kept alive by the arcane. Has nothing to do, so far as I know, with our souls.
Would it affect her now that she's been resurrected?
I assume it would just work the same. Her body would go back to absorbing the latent magic in the area, and she'd stick around for a long, long time.
Right.
Means she can't come
May
home with
I
us.
ask? I mean, she probably. What's saying is she can. She just probably wouldn't. Because her body has no longer been absorbing the magic aura of this area.
Right, but you would make a new body.
I'd make a new body, but it would not have been exposed to it as long as it had her old body has.
No, but she'll still live here.
Yes, she'll still live here, but I'm saying that she can freely leave and not have to worry about eventually fading away.
What Matthew
She-
is saying
she
is that
can
she
leave-
does not risk rotting because of lack of magic.
She can leave as long as she doesn't. Well, in theory, right?
Yes, in
Yes.
theory.
She would be able to leave as long as she did not stay here for a prolonged period of time.
Okay.
Which we don't know whether or not she would do, considering she kind of called this place home.
Understandably. This is just a possibility that I think it's very worth pointing out.
Yeah.
If I resurrect her, meaning she could come and help us
Yes.
and not worry about rotting.
Right.
Bef-
I'm picking
And
up
then
what
she
you
can
put
come
down.
back.
And then she could come back and then be stuck.
That is, of course, if she
Go
decides
ahead.
to leave in the first place.
Do you do it?
Well, no. Before she does anything, I'll do this in character. Before I actually commit to using one of these, do you know who this is? And she brings out the sketch of Ted.
No. Someone here
Yes.
in the city?
Yes.
Never seen this face before.
That's troubling.
That is very troubling, considering how he seemed to know me. And I've only been here for a matter of hours. I don't expect you to know the answer to why that is. I'm just bringing it to your attention.
Strange things happen. We are in strange times.
Of course. Well, in that case, I don't know if you have any sort of secret service or anyone that spies around to make sure that Homeland Security or anything like that.
Perhaps a Central Intelligence
agency.
We're the
Yeah.
Federal
Or
Investigation Bureau.
Federal Bureau of Investigation.
A fib.
A fib. Not the spy, but the fib.
Perhaps a national security agency.
But
No, not those guys. They suck.
yeah, the NSA is ass. Anyway, she says, well, if you have any sort of network of people to watch the city to make sure there's no intruders, I think you got one on your hands.
I mean, we don't have any of those things, but we do have a secret intelligence service, though we do call it the MI6.
82nd Airborne is everywhere, bitch.
Good joke.
Anyway, says, well, I think it'd be wise to bring this to their attention, and she rips out the page that his face is on and hands it to Azarandians.
Sure. Can do.
Azarnitis.
He acted very strangely and said some ominous things to me before he walked away, and when I tried to watch him as he walked away, he fucking vanished.
Just like everyone else we fucking talked to.
Well, see, here's the thing. She was gonna take a picture of him, but he was gone before.
What, are you gonna attach a dot matrix printer to the back of your head?
Well, it would save the screenshot.
I was gonna take a screen cap.
I was gonna take a screen. I was
We're gonna
going to hold control print screen.
We were gonna upload it to Reddit earlier, like later.
Yeah, duh.
I was gonna talk
Forehead?
about it on 2chan. Or sorry, this isn't Chi Jung Sen, this would be 4chan.
Yeah.
1D4 channel.
1D4chan?
That actually exists.
That is the thing.
Yeah,
That is
that's
the thing.
But she like is contemplating like holding the gun, and this would be a very big decision with consultation of the party.
Why are you holding the barrel? Just pull the fucking trigger. It's still gonna hurt. Okay.
Stay safe right now.
We do have another one, although Cora probably would not be too happy if it was destroyed, because that would mean destroying her brother's sword, but for the great good. We can still reforge the sword with the pieces that are left. Okay.
You have a plug for that.
I'm sorry, everyone. I gotta do this.
You're gonna
And
break
she-
this fucking sword, aren't you?
I'm not breaking the sword, I'm using my Philosopher's Stone.
Did you get the gold first?
Way to fucking go.
Do that first.
I mean, it kind
With
of
the power of... Wait a minute.
Money!
like that breaks the whole like character.
With
of-
the
power of...
She looks at Azarandius and is like, I know you don't need this, but we do. Money. Okay, now that that's out of the way.
Like, hold on. Sorry, I know I was doing the soldier act thing, but I just realized that I can get like a lot of money out of this. Hold on.
Super
Opens up bag of honing. Here comes the money! Just holds the stone as like a jet stream of gold flies into the
Well,
bag.
see, but here's the thing. We could still use it to terraform stuff, which was the original plan for it. Because what was described was if it can use 25. It can make 25 pieces of gold worth of items.
Yes,
25,000. Sorry.
25 whole gold.
25 whole gold. 25,000 pieces and still resurrect someone.
The resurrection
do that?
destroys the stone.
Just
Yeah.
entirely.
Yes.
Can't do it in a reverse order.
Damn it. Okay. Well, I guess in that case.
Hold on. Here comes the money!
Right.
25,000 gold in the bag.
Just one moment. Before I do this, one moment.
I come from a place that actually has an economy.
Yes,
Um,
I know
I'm not a fucking commie.
I know you don't have an economy, but I do. Gold.
Okay, so from his perspective, you just offered to bring back one of his dead friends, and then you're like, actually, hold on, never mind, and then you just start spewing money into a pouch. And he's looking at you like, are you serious?
No, it can still resurrect someone. This is
No,
proven-
it's good. Give it a second.
This can still
Shakes
resurrect
out the
someone.
last one or two, and here we go.
Resurrection. Intent for resurrect.
Let me bring back your friend. Actually, hold on. I want to be 25,000 gold richer. Oh no! I can still also do the rise. I just need to do this first.
I gotta do this first
She
because
shakes
the
us
resurrection
down.
will break it.
I'm sorry, but the extra planar forces, several are actually telling me that I need to do this first, and then I'll resurrect your friend. Yeah, that's what happens.
You
God.
you commit to the resurrection. It's like last time. It's relatively like nothing happens, and then as Randius is looking around, like as the magical energy leaves the Philosopher's Stone and it shatters in your hand, it all enters the gun on the ground, and he's looking at you, and he's just like,
Give it a
What?
moment,
yeah.
please.
Yeah.
It happened. This happened last time.
And then there is this magical like explosion.
Sounds like a gunshot.
He is blasted backwards up against the wall and like breaks several bottles of stuff which fall on the floor.
I'm sorry about that.
Kaz is still there because of her robo legs.
Wait, did you just
She pulled a rope.
sacrifice the Wayfinder to do this?
No.
She pulls a
I'm
RoboCop and just
I'm
bolts
using
it
one
in
of
the room.
Emmeline's guns because
Okay.
this was Kaylin's gun. It wouldn't work.
So, Emmeline is an older woman, probably in her like mid-60s.
It's Anna.
She is sitting there like, well, she's standing.
Still
Like the
fucking
second
up
she
that,
appears,
just
she's this like caramel-skinned older woman with gray hair. She has no clothes, just like Jackal didn't, and she.
Oh goodness.
She immediately begins like laughing. A good analog for what this woman looks like feature-wise
Anna?
is no Miss Frizzle.
Oh!
Yes!
Yes!
She's insane! But the good kind.
Yes.
It's always an adventure with Miss Frizzle around.
I don't know if you have any modesty, but just in case, and she puts her cloak on her.
I don't know if you have any modesty. Wow.
One little explosion couldn't keep me down. Where, in the name of all of the remaining gods, the fuck am I?
You're in Azarandius' room. He's right over there. See, I told you it'd work.
Azarandius, why am I naked in your chambers despite all of your advances? This should never have happened.
Cass is just like,
Oh, that's why you wanted her back.
Use a rock.
I see.
We had Gehrman.
You
Now we have
slut.
Lady Maria.
so like,
Sly bastard.
so like she looks at Azarandius just with a coy look and is like, there she is.
He's just sitting there like, it's really you. You're not dead anymore.
Cass looks at Emmeline and is like, used a rock. Poof. Now you're here.
Right.
Boom!
What happened to me? I remember pulling the trigger and then disappearing.
Apparently, to their account, the sniper also shot you.
Oh, that is awesome.
Oh, that's fucking sick.
And
It's like DB's. Oh, you don't know what
Okay,
DB's
I've never seen your face before, first of all. Azarandius, you are looking rough. I have been gone a while, I assume.
According to them, a couple of years.
Azarandius, please tell me you didn't follow through my will to the letter. I did do
Yeah,
that.
I did.
We did do that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, but yeah.
So
we
my
absolutely did.
my laboratory is gone.
Yeah.
Yes. that would be
Yeah.
correct. Yes.
Thankfully, we have a museum where we have a bunch of your shit on display. Well, great.
I'm going to need Zinhan Wei to build me a new tower immediately. I require a new laboratory, and in the next couple of hours I will have compiled a list of everything I need. There is work to be done, Azarandius. For all of your great bloody magical shields, we're not winning any wars without guns.
Can I spectate? I'd love to spectate.
Sure.
Carries the wayfinder.
Sure, where the
over
wayfinders
the-
are like, I've got
yeah,
this.
you're like holding the wayfinder.
Yeah,
is
she's
cool.
like, I have your protege's masterwork.
Oh, where is she? I haven't seen Kaylin and I don't know how many years I've been dead, but however many years plus that. Many years.
No one knows.
Oh. Man, shit sucks. You couldn't have brought me back to life sometime it didn't suck? Have we at least figured out how to get past the walls?
No.
Potentially. Potentially.
So the answer is no.
Yes.
Yes
to
or
the-
no?
Yes to the no.
Great.
So they hit. I hit it. What the fuck is going on?
Regardless,
Two
I
crazy people
apologize for
are
not bringing you
talking
back
to
in
each
a
other.
more pleasant time, but I figured they needed your help.
Tick tock, the clock is running, and I don't like rewinding them. We have guns to build, an army to outfit, we have drow to kill.
So that's why they liked each other.
See,
I see the connection.
she sees Cora, like, aha!
I found one.
Aha! Pulls a flintlock out of nowhere. Bang!
She pulls a flintlock out of the cloak you gave her.
Fuck! I didn't have one of those. What? I feel like I would have known if I put a gun in there.
It looks exactly like that.
She pulls a fucking modern day revolver.
She just acquires the fucking last word.
You're welcome to observe, but
Just-
my work tends to take several days at a time. If you're willing to stay awake that long.
Just the whole
I'm willing to
ass.
stay awake. I can do that.
Jojo, what are you doing in there?
Well, let's go.
Jojas.
Can't stop with us.
Jojimus Maximus.
I can write down as much as I can before I leave.
We're leaving like now.
I thought we were gonna rest first.
Yeah,
We need
I
spell
mean,
slots.
yeah,
we don't have anything, dude.
We need spell slots and we need to heal.
That's true. There's a lot of X's on this sheet of paper.
Exactly. So unless you want to go into the place with big ass ship, with a bunch of X's, this is a hard no on my end.
Hard no.
Hard no.
And to think Erna is missing all of this fun adventure because he's at home being a fat ass.
Erna's busy being fat.
Erna is busy
Erna-
watching Grix and being fat.
Listen.
I feel like Erna at this point is just kind of like they're a part of the game. They're not necessarily a part of cast.
They're part of the game, not part of the party.
It's unfortunate.
Now listen.
Very unfortunate. It's gonna change whenever we get back.
Erna.
Listen up, fatty.
Erna.
Listen up, fatty. We're gonna
Erna
do an
has
80
consumed the
style
bed.
montage.
It is now the bed.
Sorry.
We're gonna
Cass.
do an 80 style montage. Get you back in shape, Erna.
I was just so hungry. Cat, you come back to Sunstone and it is
Just-
it's
oh,
furry, and you're wondering.
Cass.
I
was just so hungry.
Just like, now, here's the most horrifying part of that image. Garfield's face is on the inside of the house.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Where's the rest of the field?
I do not like this. This is
There's the
bad.
gar. Where's the field? Anyways,
You are responsible
Don't
for
do
both of the miraculous resurrections that have transpired in this game, Cassandra.
So you are.
That's because we can't cast Resurrect yet, damn it.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
Yes, we
Working on
can.
it.
we
Yeah,
can
okay.
cast it.
I don't have
I
diamonds.
just have true resurrection.
Why didn't you make diamonds?
Oh. I didn't know that you had resurrection. That was.
Fifth-level spells.
Is it my responsibility to know what spells you can cast?
No.
I shoot bullets.
No, but I
Last session, I almost killed you shooting bullets.
No, but 3 sessions ago I cast Plane Shift, a 5th-level cleric
And that's
spell.
why we're here!
And I don't know that fucking that is a 5th level spell. I'm not a spellcaster. I'm a shoot, bang, throw potion motherfucker.
You're a bullet caster.
I'm a
I
bullet
cast
caster.
gun!
I like to throw gunpowder everywhere
When
and
things
almost
go
kill my
wrong
friends.
With cast,
You
casting
solve practical
gun,
problems.
you cast more gun.
Yes. You see, you got a bowl of ramen, right? The only thing it's missing are some chives and a gun.
This,
Anyway.
the key to making a perfect soup
Guacamole.
is a couple chives, some onions, and a gun!
Alright.
So that's it.
We can continue now. My rent aside. Fucking know what all kind of shit you can cast. You have tomes worth of shit. How am I supposed to know?
I really don't have that much.
We have another Philosopher's Stone we could use eventually. I know it sucks.
This is all. That's all. That's everything. That's everything.
That's
I can
still
do.
a page of shit.
There's more on the back.
2! A page and a quarter of shit.
That's a quarter?
A page and a 16th of shit.
I haven't had the opportunity to learn that many spells across this campaign.
I haven't
we have
learned
just
any.
kind of been consistently just doing shit.
Hey,
haven't
I'd like to point out something.
Should have been a sorcerer forehead.
You still do
She
more
still
than
knows
Drolish.
way more
Drolish is
spells
just
than you.
Drolish. Her entire shtick is kind of. Yep.
Well, I don't need to copy.
You've had powerful
spells,
narrative
is what I'm
stuff.
saying. I don't need to like copy my
Regardless,
spells out of a
yeah.
spellbook. I just
You're a
know them.
fork.
Moving astray from
So,
this.
You guys are given accommodations to sleep for the evening. You forego rest in order to foreshadow this woman. I need you to roll a fortitude saving throw.
And Drolish.
Okie doke. 22.
Okay, you are not exhausted
And
or
dro-
fatigued.
And Drolish for once tries her best.
Cass as well.
She does her best to
What's
go
a
to
fortitude,
sleep.
but
Jorlish wants to sleep.
Yes.
Oh.
So here is the
Yes.
thing: the nature of your accommodations. You are led to a number of very small rooms, which have about enough space for a bed, standing up, sitting down, and then like a nightstand to put things on. Zen Hanwei constructed these specifically for you. A night's rest in these beds should heal the majority of your wounds. Your natural healing will be accelerated while you are here, so as long as your bones have been properly set back in place, everything should be fine.
That's useful.
It will take 8 hours, so rest well. I imagine you've had very long days.
Do you send? Who's talking to us right now?
it's in Hanwei.
Zen Hanwei.
Zen. So, do sending spells work outside of the city?
Not to get into the city.
So I can send a message out, but they can't respond.
No, the shield prevents all contact, period. Unless you have a specific piece of magical, like an item,
No, just a bit of spellcraft.
then I'm sorry.
Did you let the other members of the Nine know about Martyrs?
They're aware.
Good.
Though we are still highly skeptical of this.
I understand, especially given the source. All I would say is just be
you
vigilant.
do not trust me? Why wouldn't you trust me? Why would
That's
I
like-
lie to you?
I trust you, Severin. She says, like she says in her head to the sword. The others probably won't. Well, the others wouldn't.
Oh, how sad for them. In Cora's room, there is also a large. It's slightly larger, and there is a bed on the floor.
Oh, for Galahad.
We have already given these accommodations to your friends.
I appreciate that. We'll be heading off in the morning, and the shield blocks all contact, so we would have to come back to let you know of our success.
That you would, unfortunately. But a path traveled twice is twice as tread as before. Becomes familiar over time.
And once I figure out how to get out of the city, I can just teleport back to the threshold.
That is true.
In any case, thank you.
A teleportation circle.
Now you see, I was thinking the exact same thing.
We need a large location.
Perhaps if this path turns out to be legitimate.
If you find a way home, begin producing. Wait, are you capable of producing a teleportation circle?
I don't think so, but I'll look.
Shit.
Hang on. Teleportation circle, Pathfinder. Oh, that's a big Chungus right there. That's a 9th level spell Chungus right there.
Oh,
Well, they can
Where did-
cast it.
where did my other dice go?
No clue.
Oh, they're
I had
somewhere
this,
around
and
here.
then I had a dice bag.
The dice bag is it's been
Here.
moved. Ah, there it is. I'm not capable of casting a teleportation circle. I'm not.
Those are
I'm. I'm one of few.
Those are not your time.
I'm one of few chronomancers in the world, but I'm not that
Yeah.
powerful of a wizard yet.
I'm still not entirely certain necessarily about whatever chronomancy is, but yes, it's very hard. Maybe if someone comes with you next time, we can produce a teleportation circle on our own, and maybe things will be okay, but it's still only going to do so much. It's hard for us to leave Arkbridge and the surrounding area.
I understand, but anything, any kind of link to the southern world, it would be. I feel like the difference would be substantial.
Possibly so.
Thank you for your time, Zinhunwei.
Oh, you are very welcome.
And
You are responsible, well, not you, but the pyromancer is responsible for saving my life.
How did Azarandius respond to to what you knew about his survival?
He's having a day.
Well, we ought to get some sleep.
He's in the middle of being cuckolded by clockwork.
Beautiful.
Oh, so they don't know yet. They
no,
don't.
No, they don't.
No.
No.
We don't.
We would have like no reason to.
I'm.
No one told
Sorry?
us or anything.
Don't worry about it.
All right. Well, we it's been a long day. We should probably get some sleep. And I imagine you're a busy man.
Yes, I am. Rest well. I will see you gone in the morning.
Good night.
So you will all turn in. You sleep for your 8 hours. You recover all of your hit points, all of your spells,
Woo!
Is that
Very,
excluding me or no?
excluding you.
very concerned about home and about fucking everyone there.
Make a gunsmithing or like alchemy or
Whichever's higher. I mean,
alternatively, if you would like to make a roll, you can take profession or craft laser
yeah.
at a -5.
I forget that thing is a thing that you have.
Oh yeah.
I have it too.
Your face.
I think I know what that gun is.
It's a fucking laser gun.
It's a laser rifle.
Awesome laser rifle.
name's Billy. Have you seen my laser rifle?
I'd be rolling at a +4.
Do it, my
Oh,
man.
that's
We've
such
got
a
all
good
our,
gun.
we've got all of our rerolls.
Sure.
Also, oh, sorry, go ahead.
21.
You can always try for a 20.
Damn it! Damn it!
I didn't say you failed. I'm just saying, like, once you lock this in, you get what you get.
Should I?
What did you roll?
Man, you rolled
17.
a 17. I don't.
17 is pretty good.
17 is extremely good.
That's
but I
what-
imagine higher, the higher it is.
Asking for a higher roll than a 17 is kind of a lot, though.
I know, but if I rolled a 20, like a natural 20,
Let's
that'd
see
be...
what I roll, yeah?
Well,
I
think
rolled the difference.
You rolled the
It's
difference.
a good omen.
It's a good...
that's not the good omen. Is a 3.
You want the DM to roll low.
I mean, yeah.
Hey, I have a spell that will let you take a reroll and then take the higher roll.
But you can't cast it now. You
Yes.
don't know what she's doing.
Come tell me about it.
That'd be dumb.
I'm going to say right now, she is not going
Rush
to
over.
leave her post.
Hey,
Okay.
I'm making a fucking
Just
gun.
come
Maybe
on.
it'll help.
We're about to head out because like I said, I'm only super feeling up to like 3 hours this evening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fuck it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
There we go.
Oh, it's an 18.
Oh!
Come
You have
on.
a
Matt.
temperate.
Stand.
You are not
Stand.
gonna roll a 19 or a 20 on
Stand
this.
on
I don't
an
appreciate
18.
your negativity.
I'm
Dude.
being real with you.
Stand on an 18.
Stand on an 18.
This is
Matt.
the worst game of blackjack I've ever played.
You can do
Fucking-
it, man.
That's a 22, Matt.
You're
That's
gonna
good.
beat the dealer. Come on, man.
10% chance.
That's a 22, Matt. That's good. You've done it.
This is like 40% right there. I mean, your odds are pretty good. Your odds are pretty good.
That is not how odds work.
It's actually like a 24% chance that you roll better than 18.
You have a lot of rerolls.
with the 4 dice we have there.
Stand.
It's not the first time I've taken ballsy shit with dice. and it's paid out for me.
It ain't the first rodeo
But,
that
but,
you've been
but
on.
what if it doesn't this time?
Once you knock those rerolls, you lose this 18, and then you're gonna roll like an 11, and that's gonna be ass.
It could happen, man.
I'm not dispelling the fact that it could happen.
It's likely to happen.
I'm-
There are way more numbers lower than an 18 on a
I'm
d20
just-
than higher.
I'm just
Matthew.
weighing my options.
Matthew,
Stand.
Matthew, I understand what they're saying. You know, the smart idea is to stand. The D&D player option, though.
Don't fucking listen to her.
No,
No.
don't do this.
She was gonna charge a goddamn
20,
Baylor when
20,
she's a plant.
20.
You've already got what you need, my man.
20.
You've already got a really,
20.
really good roll.
I know I already got a really good roll, but a natural 20 might get me this gun now. Is what the thing is.
We'll have time. We'll have time.
Nah.
Debatable
Debatable.
for the first
That's
off,
true.
because the thing is, we're gonna leave at daybreak.
You are killing me, Matt.
This is my character.
I'm just saying to you, out of concern for your character, that you are about to trade off a really good roll for what will definitely be a shittier roll.
Definitely is too strong a word.
Matt, come
A
on.
more accurate word would be.
You're about to walk into a casino and bet everything on black and fucking lose.
God, 23.
23! 23, baby! You're Aaron right now,
And
Matt.
And
unlike
they got 23 eventually.
yeah, but
He lost money!
unlike Aaron, you don't have infinite tries. You have 4 more.
He lost money on 23, Matt. Are you about to lose money going for a 23? Because that's what a 19 will get you. A 20 fucking 3. Are you about to bet all of your money on 23 and lose?
I don't appreciate that none of you guys are cherubs and you're all devils. Except for you. And
What are you talking about?
She has been a
We're-
cherub this whole time,
I
and
am-
that should tell you everything. The DM should not be your cherub.
I am just telling you, man. The
I think-
odds are against you here.
However,
I'm not
if-
a fool.
However,
I know
if
you're not
you-
a fool, but
However,
You'd be pretty dope.
however,
It would be dope.
Go for it.
if
Go!
you, if
Go
you do
time!
do it, it'd be fucking like
It'll be 2 sessions in a row where you've done something legendary.
yeah.
Amy
Oh my
hasn't-
god!
Oh my fucking
no!
14.
14.
Wow, really?
I don't need your shit.
Oh, fuck you, Matt.
Oh, fuck you!
Wow, that's
You're
crazy.
letting your negativity seep into the dice.
Yeah.
I believe in you, Matt.
Go on, I
you
believe
so
in you.
strong. So
Go on
hard.
and do it.
This is ass. You got this.
Wow, who could have ever seen that coming? That's crazy.
warned you!
Who could ever have seen that coming? I can't believe this.
But, see, here's the thing.
I'm so sorry for you, Matt.
Well, no, here's
And
the
then
thing.
Amy's about to say, you got over 20. You really should have kept that 18.
Well, no, here's the thing.
Oh my god.
It's a game.
Yeah, like.
And I feel like I've earned the respect more from her from having taken the gamble. I'm going to say that right now. You're getting
Certainly earns
dangerously.
her amusement.
You're getting a little close to the lantern.
So what does that make you total?
17.
17.
Okay.
If he had kept that 18, just out of curiosity.
Who knows, right?
I hate you.
Man, if a 17 gets you some good results, imagine what a 20 fucking 2 could have done.
How about you stop being an ass? Please?
No, I will not do that. You
Fuck
can
you.
fucking cry about it.
I will shit.
I will shit.
Alright?
So, here's what you get.
Well, you went for it.
After an evening of researching with her, she, they basically go to the museum, and she's like, I want my shit back. And they're like, you're not the real person. And she's like, I totally am. By the way, she is still
In a
naked,
cloak and
minus
nothing.
robes, right.
She don't give a shit.
And they're like, no, we're not going to give you this stuff. And then she walks to the exhibit and then just shatters the glass case and takes her stuff out of it.
Well,
And as the security shows up, Azarandius is just like, no,
No, don't.
just let her go. Yes, it is really her. she's back from the dead. And then the town begins starting to talk about that. And then you go in the evening to work with her.
Wow, there's
Now-
a woman who looks like Emmeline Drixie is back.
So, as you're working with the Drixia in a laboratory that has been hastily fabricated by Zinhan Wei, she begins working on this rifle that she stole from the museum that you were looking at earlier. And you do recognize in the source, like in the process of her putting it back together, that she starts putting a lot of these like prisms like in sequence next to each other. And you're like, oh, it is a laser. Not only is it a laser, it's a very powerful one with no evident power source, and it's missing a lot of pieces. Now, she says it's a real shame that I don't have access to, and she gives a list of like alchemical resources and certain metals, a bit of adamantite, and then
Yeah, we
she,
can fix that. We have legs.
the last thing I need, on top of all of those things, is a batch of arcanium. It is liquid arcane magic, and it goes in this little bottle. And she taps the like glass tube holding the laser.
Oh, hell.
What?
Arcanium was the liquid in the heart.
Well, fuck.
I mean, you don't know that.
We don't know.
I don't know that, but I can take a stab.
It also very well could have been the liquid powering Cap's suit.
That's actually also. a
That
valid
could also
point.
be arcanium.
That's
Yeah.
what I just said.
If I have a couple of these resources, and if I had a way to procure arcanium, I'd be able to finish the thing. You've been an excellent research assistant. Surprisingly knowledgeable in the refraction of light. As a consolation, I'm not able to finish this gun, but I know someone who can. And she hands you the unfinished rifle.
Her hands are shaking. I don't know about that. I appreciate it. I'll
It's
see
not
it.
hard. It needs another 2 lenses, one here and one here.
Yes.
Then it needs a power source. I don't know where you're going to source that. I haven't seen any of it in a long time. And then it needs some adjustment around the trigger group down here, and then the
Yeah.
power amplifier over here needs some work.
Like,
It's a project, but
uh,
if you bring it back to me in working condition, I'll be happy to reverse engineer it from whatever modifications you've made and put it into mass production if we can find a reliable source of arcanium.
what Cat? I'd like a little. This is like a little. You can say yes or no to this, but I want to say the notes that she wrote down about it. She's made adjustments. And they're all what she said. And like she's like has it written down. I've studied a
Good.
lot on firearms.
Good
As you can
luck.
see.
I don't have time to work on it. I have to start arming an army. I have a feeling that something's on the horizon. Whether or not Azarandius is willing to sit here in a puddle of his own piss any longer is not any of my concern.
Fuck.
Delete this.
Well, it will be done.
I will love to see you again. I haven't had an apprentice for some years plus however many I've been dead.
I'll be back.
I would like to hope so.
And like she takes off her glove and wants to shake her bare hand.
She shakes your hand too, at which point you then remember and see, because she has to part the robe, she has not at any point in this whole process actually put clothes on again.
It's her cloak that she's wearing too. She's wearing Cassandra's cloak.
Do you want this back?
Yes, actually, I would very much like that back.
Okay.
No, there's just a naked Emmeline there.
I'm just gonna get back to work. And that is what she does.
No clothes.
She really does not give a fuck.
She don't give a fuck.
She's in her house.
Cass
Yeah,
was
she's
not.
in her house.
Cass was
Fuck
not
it.
at all inaccurate when she was like, "I don't know how modest you are." She doesn't care. This is her house now.
I
Well-
fucking love this character.
I
Well-
forget.
love all of these.
I forget sometimes that there is an entire, like, very large subculture of people that just don't give a fuck when they're in their own place, and they just fucking walk around and, like,
I don't wear
No
pants when I'm
clothes.
at home, or at least I didn't until my mother moved in.
I won't even fucking take
Unsingle.
off socks at home.
I typically
Really?
don't wear
I
any
take off
clothes.
shoes and that's it.
Why am I wearing pants and socks in my own goddamn house?
I hate the feeling of not wearing socks.
I typically don't wear anything, but he moved in.
Fair.
You just walked around nude with
Yeah.
Mirka there.
Yeah.
That's fair though.
It's not like
Did she also walk around nude?
Sorry,
No,
sorry, I
she
ruined
is
that
less
for you.
than comfortable with that. Just the general feeling of it, more so than the being naked.
So you're sitting there on the couch, just like balls out, and she's there clothed. Because that's an image. You look like a man baby in this picture.
More often than not, she's just in her PJs.
I'm
Fair.
sorry I ruined that for you, I guess. Tatsu.
I mean, it was ruined previously when we had a different roommate.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Katie was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
anyway.
Now the
Anyway.
audience knows more about me than they
Naked
probably
grandma.
would like to.
So, the session pans out on Naked Grandma and the laser rifle being...
Naked Grandma and the Laser Rifle is the title of this session.
You are damn skipping.
Can I do one last thing? I want to leave her the schematics for a gun that she's been working on, the Wayfarer. Not the Wayfarer. Yeah, the Wayfarer that she's been writing up. And then do you remember the picture that I sent you a while
I
ago?
do.
Shotgun!
She wants to leave that with her.
I'm working on this.
How about-
That's pretty cool.
How about a trade?
Sure.
And she has
I'll
the-
build yours if you build mine.
Seems like a fair trade.
Show me yours, I'll show you
And then we can say like it pans out, she walks out, and then all that kind of shit.
I just remembered I forgot to tell Zen Hanwei that probably Ted picked my pocket.
You don't know if you don't know.
Never met
of-
Ted.
You never met
Yeah.
I never met Ted,
The-
but I would just say it's gone missing.
The last thing that happens is... The last two things that happen is... for Caster, in your sleep, there's just these echoing voices of people you've known, and you hear... You know, I've always wanted to go to a cruise to Chijiang-sen. It's a long boat ride.
That's it.
That's it. He just keeps hearing Chuko's voice.
You're gaining schizophrenia.
Congratulations, you
The-
gained schizophrenia.
The last thing we
Idle
see...
thought. We have a boat now.
We're going on a cruise. This is the beach episode.
Do the voices respond?
This is the beach episode.
I wonder if there's anywhere else you could go with a big old boat. But the episode would close out like it cuts the shot to the sound of like clockwork ticking and like a whirring kind of something and a heartbeat, and sitting at a backdrop of just like pure blackness is the arcane gemstone heart.
Son of a bitch.
Good session, everybody.
Good session.
You used all the rerolls and fucking came out on the bottom.
Like we all knew he would, including him.
I mean he went for it, and you can I respect it. I just
I don't.
Why not?
Alright.
Matt's like, I'll remember that next time you need a fucking ride.
I don't usually share what goes on behind the screen, but I am willing to tell you what would have happened if you had managed to make that roll of 20.
Okay.
If you had managed to make that roll of 20, you would have made suggestions to her that would have finished the rifle immediately. It
so
would
it's
still have
Make
no power.
suggestions
So I
to
needed
the
a 20.
master.
You needed to roll a 20 on die.
I see.
Okay.
All right.
So that softens the blow, I guess.
No, it really doesn't.
I mean, he had it. If he had stood on 18, like we said, he would have gotten nothing.
I still would have gotten what
I mean,
got
the
right now.
gun might be closer to being done than it is now. We still don't know how the fuck we're gonna get half of the shit for it. We don't know what the power source for it even
Well,
is.
you know what we do have?
We know what it is.
Do we?
Arcanium.
It's like,
No, she said it needed a power source and arcanium, didn't she?
The power source is Arcanium.
Oh,
Well, you know what we have? A way to make Philosopher's Stones.
we do. We need to feed some souls to a
Throw
fucking
that
tree.
away and bring me another one.
And I don't think that
good
would
thing
be...
there's a massive army on our doorstep.
Yeah? Yeah.
I have a question that I was gonna pose before now, but I forgot.
Before you pose that question, I have one more piece of information for you, Matt.
Okay.
You can understand, just as someone looking at the design schematics and has had it explained to you over the course of it being in the middle of being constructed, the way that this gun works is it's not like a blaster from Star Wars. It is a consistent stream of laser energy.
Oh, so it's just like a.
It is
Like
no. It's like as long as you hold the trigger.
Oh, so like it's like a. Yeah.
Yes.
So as long as I have it down.
It
He
is
doesn't
a.
play Destiny.
It is like a trace rifle from
He
Destiny.
doesn't play Destiny.
Yeah, I understand that he doesn't play Destiny, but I can show him a video of what trace rifles are like.
Or I can also look it up too.
Instead of going pew
I need a
pew
needle.
pew
I know.
pew, it's more of a.
What is your question, Tyler?
Did we get any experience last session?
We did kill things.
Are you asking because you are close to leveling?
I'm moderately close to leveling, but
We've
not
killed
not
things-
not enough for one session's worth. I
We've-
wouldn't think.
We've killed things the previous 2 sessions.
Yeah, we killed a couple tanks.
Oh, right.
We killed a lot of guys. I killed my brother.
Hey, how much experience gets you to 11th?
I'm pretty sure I'm also 10.
To be at 11th, you would need a total of
155k.
Yeah.
You need how much more experience? I'm sorry.
11th level is 155k caster.
How much are you at?
141.
Yeah, I'm at 100.
I got pencil.
Yeah, 136, 718.
You guys, for the last couple of sessions, can add in an additional 4,500 experience with Cassandra taking an additional 1,000.
4,500.
45. That shit
back out.
Fuck it, do it now. Why not? Shit.
I'm sad that I can't. No way.
Wait, 4,500?
Yes.
Shit.
You just thought 45,000.
Yeah. I'm tired of
I ain't gonna hand
I'm
out
tired, okay? Eat my ass!
45 grand in one pop. Jesus.
The most we've ever gotten was from beating those Hell Knights, I think, and that was what, 28,000?
You guys got a lot of experience for, like, just that whole zone, because I think I had held off on experience for a couple of sessions. So you got the experience from beating the Hell Knights, and then, like, the Minotaur, and then a couple of things after that, and a lot of things before it, and I just gave you a whole level's worth of experience, because I was like, fuck, I forgot to give you guys all this.
That's fair.
Can you dispose of that?
Sure.
I'm
Hey,
still a fair ways
how
away.
much experience do you have?
With everything added, now I have 141,218.
Okay, good. I was really worried there for a second that my experience was inaccurate.
Oh no.
I was for a second wondering why I was so behind, and then I remembered I fucking died, and this is the new guy.
He really does feel like he's been here since the start, though. He's such
Yeah.
a good
Yeah.
fit for everything.
Well, I mean, Veyt died so young.
I mean,
Well, I mean,
metaphorically speaking, as far as
he-
levels go.
He died at 4th level before the campaign, like,
kicked off.
before
Really
you guys.
happened.
Right, like.
Yeah. He died being
Caster's
like
really
fucking
been the
stone
guy.
smashed.
As far as, like, the whole of the campaign doing its overarching thing goes, Veyt was just kind of there for a
Veyt
little
was
while.
a tragedy character.
I
That was
wonder
his
if he's
purpose.
gonna be the only one that dies.
Probably not.
At
I
this
have a
point,
memorial for Caster set and ready to go at any moment.
Who's gonna be the next? Who do you think will be the next if someone does?
I have absolutely no idea.
Honestly, I'm gonna be real. I think it's gonna be either of us two.
I
So
would
you mean
be,
both of us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, Chief.
It very well could be.
and now
You've
they only
come
have
very
one
close
fail
yourself.
safe
Like 5 times now.
I
because he can't bring you back to life yet.
Nope.
Not for a long while either.
I ain't gonna pretend that what I did was not selfish. It was
That's
kinda
fair. And the
selfish.
thing is, if
but-
both of us die, only I would be able to be resurrected.
yeah, I'd be fucked.
Yeah. 'cause
I
you're
mean,
bound
you'd be
to
fucked
toss.
anyway. Like, it wouldn't matter. Like, you'd just be stuck.
I mean,
Oh,
someone else
you
could-
can't ever raise them. Raise dead isn't on your spell list.
Oh, neat.
So their only option for resurrection
Is
is the
fixing
now
it myself.
the one remaining Philosopher's Stone, and whether or not she lives long enough to cast Resurrection contingency on herself. And contingency, I think, is a 7th level spell.
I think it's 7th, yeah.
So
Ah.
is resurrection not on mine?
It's not on your spell
It
list.
just isn't.
It's just not there.
How much experience did we get?
Yeah, it's
I draw my
I draw my spells from the cleric list.
Do you draw them from the cleric list, or is there the war priest spell list? Because if it's from the cleric list, then you do get it.
Man, I'm gonna get bonus experience.
Let me double check here.
I'm checking too, just to be sure.
Could you fucking stop loading shit and moving the page? Thank you.
155,000, by the way. That's what.
No, it is from the clerik spell list.
Yep.
Because it is a 5th level spell, you will get your first ability. You will first be able to cast it at 10th level.
So you could cast it now.
Wait. No. Hold on. Not 10th level. Sorry. 13th level.
Never mind.
I can cast it relatively soon.
Actually, if he burned a candle, the super special candles that she burns, he could cast it.
I need to make one of those first.
Yeah.
You're 11th level, right?
I'm 10th.
Oh, well, next level you'd be able to cast it, because it only raises... Does it give you an extra effective spell level, or does it increase your caster level by 2?
Gives you an extra effective spell level.
Oh, well, then yeah, you could cast it now.
Yeah, I can cast it now.
At 12th level, if I burn a candle, I can regenerate Galahad's missing body parts.
But, it's been lovely.
Indeed.
So it has.
Oh shit! Still a good bit
What?
of drama, but this session was much more lax.
Yeah, just Arcbridge, like a day in Arcbridge.
A day in art.
What did we say the title was? Naked Grandma.
No, it was.
Ty, you said it.
Naked Grandma saves the day.
Tyler. What was the name of the episode?
Naked Grandma and Laser Rifle.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Naked